welcome you to Subiaco Oval for the broadcast of the interstate State of Origin game between Victoria and Western Australia. The Victorians out on the field, a big crowd in hand at Subiaco Oval here. I'd say something in the vicinity of 35 to 40,000 people. There's an overcast day, a light breeze from the northeast. Breeze won't be a problem. We believe that the players going out of the Victorian lineup will be Osborne, Banks and Langsford as WA come out onto the field through a giant banner. We can't read the writing here, but the West Australians about to run through a huge banner, and thousands of black and gold balloons are being released as the West Australians prepare to burst through the banner. They go through now. Graham Moss, of course, the first West Australian to win the Brownlow medal. He won that in 1976 during a stay of 89 games between 1973 and 76 for Essendon, representing Victoria 5 times. He also played 254 games for Claremont in the WAFL competition and has coached Claremont since 1977.
Waterson's just come off the ground, I notice, and Ellis is going on now.
He's in a real hurry too to get out to that position. Here's the bounce of the ball in to start the game. Keane and Madden go to it. It's a good high straight bounce. Hit out one by Madden. It comes down nicely to a Victorian. I think that was Ruse. Mullane, in fact, it was. Onto his boot, down towards half forward. Punch clear by Lester Smith. It goes to Lamb for Western Australia, down towards the outer side half forward flank. Bouncing ball now out in front of a West Australian player. The ball close to the boundary line now. Soccer attempt. In goes Alvin, but it's over the line for a boundary throw in. Left half forward for Western Australia. In fact, a free kick picked out to go the way of Western Australia. And that kick to be taken and driven across towards the centre-half forward position. There's Keane to mark unopposed. Good fast bit of play on football there by Keane now to direct the play across towards Rioli on the half-forward line. Cleverly knocked away by Victoria and coming through very strongly out of defence. Victoria hammering the ball down towards the half-forward line. The bounce of the ball could favour Brereton, but he's bustled out of the way. In goes Hardy, carried forward, and Brad Hardy picks up the second free kick of the game. He's on the grandstand wing now, opposed to Waitman. Hardy, a long high kick down towards the half-forward line, looking for Satori, but from behind, Madden the big mark. Right over the top of Satori. He goes by hand now to a teammate in Banks. Banks onto his right boot, a kick up towards the centre of the ground. Keane up high, should mark. Bush in the back, picked out by the umpire, and it goes the way of Terry Danaher in the centre of the ground. He goes over the half-forward line, looking for Taylor up high. Mills punches clear, but Taylor recovers well, bursting through the pack. He's dispossessed. In goes Victoria. That's a kick forward towards the full forward line. The mark taken there by Dermot Brereton about 25 metres out from goal. Greg Williams picking that ball up out of a pack, hammered it forward down towards full forward. Brereton 25 metres out, dead in front, and a big chance to put the first score on the board, a major score for Victoria. Well,
Jeff Miles did the sprawling job on Taylor, but unfortunately Western Australia didn't have the players on the ground to gather the crumbs.
There's the Brereton kick. We'll wait on the call. I think he's missed away to the left. He has. The minor score to Victoria. First score on the board. Victoria one behind. Western Australia yet to score, and we've had 2 minutes in the first quarter.
Yes, Ian, and a little bit disconcerting from a commentary point of view is that Paul Ruse is playing in 18. In the program it's named as Banks, and Banks of course didn't make the side. So the kick into play comes and goes to the back of the pack. It's picked up by Dwayne Lamb. A quick hand pass on to a running Ellis. Ellis kicks into the centre half forward position. The marking duel's on there. Nearly a Victorian mark. In any case, there was interference, and the free kick going the way of a Victorian player at the centre half back position there. I think it was Darren Mullane. He gets on very quickly to a hand pass to a player on this grandstand wing, and they're into attack again as it's scooped up here by Dale Waitman. Waitman a hand pass further afield over to Brian Royal. Royal's at centre half forward, back to Waitman. Waitman through centre half forward, lines up the goals. Nice looking kick, but offline well and truly, and the minor score only. So Victoria 2 behinds.
The little players at ground level seem to be doing the damage at the moment. I think Western Australia are going to have to get into the game in this area if they're going to wrest the game away from Victoria.
OK, Glendinning kicks it to himself and now comes up this half-back flank. It's knocked on by Keane. A good piece of play there. The hand pass comes over to Dwayne Lamb again, who uses his physical strength. He's legged and gets a free kick on the half-back flank right for the Western Australian side. In fact, he's almost up on the right wing in this quarter. Western Australia kicking towards the Western or Subiaco end. The kick from Dwayne Lamb's a dreadful kick. It's been marked by Victoria at the centre half back position. A player difficult to identify. We'll get him in a moment as he rushes down the ground. It in fact was again Brian Royal who was a kick behind the play. He gets it into the centre of the ground, and Trevor Poole, his kick goes into the centre half forward position. It's punched away by Lester Smith. Here's a chance for Big Madden, but he stands aside to allow a teammate through, and it's down to one of the little fellas again, and this time it's Bewes. Andrew Bewes kicks towards the full forward position, but in the teeth of goals goals. It's Glendinning who takes the mark, plays on quickly, gets it onto a cool Lester Smith, whose kick is not a good one as he tried to find Davidson. Davidson's at the bottom of the pack. Mitchell's in there to lend assistance. Scrimmage developing, and the umpire will throw down between left and centre half forward for the Victorian side. Victoria 2 behinds. WA yet to score, and we've had 4 minutes of the first quarter.
Bounce down. Madden goes to it with Keane. This time it's Keane who wins the hit out to the back of the pack. In goes Ellis for Western Australia. He's carried forward, says the umpire, and a free kick to go to the West Australian defender. Still in that half-back position. He directs play down the grandstand wing. The target down there is Buckenara, nearly the one-handed mark to him, but Pert's there. In fact, it was Carroll. Carroll dispossessed there, but in a chance now for Baker for Western Australia. They throw themselves in bodily. No one can come away with the ball, and we'll have a bounce down now on the centre wing position for Western Australia. Right centre wing, just on the attacking side of that position, and WA kicking towards the Western or Subiaco end of the ground with the favour of the breeze. There's the bounce down. The hit out one again by Keane, but it's picked up by Carroll for Victoria. His kick across towards the centre of the ground. Free kick picked out to go the way of Davidson for WA. Davidson now almost into the centre half forward position, directing play out wide. There's Brad Hardy a mile down the ground to mark at centre half forward. And Brad Hardy, a wandering minstrel on that occasion, going long with a bomb of a kick down towards full forward. They fly. It comes to ground off hands, and WA's first score on the board are behind. WA 1 behind, Victoria 2 behinds.
Yes, that was a very long kick and very enterprising play by Hardy, who came from the right half forward position to the left, well, almost centre half forward position. He came from left, right half back up to the half forward line. The kick into play goes over towards the outer side of the ground. No one can take the mark. In there's a WA player, gets it onto Mitchell. Mitchell's kicks along the ground. In goes a WA player in there staging for a free kick, and that was Sartori. Now it's socked forward by Victoria, and big Justin Madden can't get his boot to the ball. Great desperation down there in the full forward position by Western Australia. Comes back to Rioli. Rioli, a kick towards goals. It could be the first major of the match. I think it's hit the post. Behind only, and Rioli very cool in that one, getting a good hand pass in from Mitchell, but Rioli's kick offline and through for the minor score. The kick into play comes very close to the boundary line on the opposite side of the ground. Oh, a lot more desperation by Western Australia then as Buckenara picks up, kicks towards the full forward position. Up went Peake, flying very high, couldn't take the mark. It's socked away again by the defence of the Victorians. Coming over now to Paul Roos over there. He tries to get it onto a teammate, but there's a lot more desperation in WA than Victoria anticipated, I think. The ball is bogged down now at the moment at the left half forward position, and the umpire will bounce down once again.
Well, this time Sartori goes to it with Madden, but Madden's too tall, wins a hit out. Ball kicked on now towards centre half back for Victoria. In goes Danaher, dispossessed. Williams now, handball across field, looking there for Poole. He can't pick up the bouncing ball. There's Mullane. Socket forward, though, by WA, clearing the half-forward line. Over the head of Rioli it goes. Taken now by Victoria through Thompson. Up towards the centre of the ground. Knocked away by Brereton. Brereton goes back in strongly. Buffets off Keane. Kick up towards the half-forward line. Nearly the mark there to Narkle. He was held for mine, but play on, says the umpire. Short kick from him across towards the grandstand wing. Oh, in goes Glendinning. He goes without the ball now. Finally back into play and has been penalised for throwing the ball. Picked up by Carroll. He wants to go on with it, but he's asked by the umpire to get it back now to Greg Williams, who does go on with it to Carroll again. Handball that time. On the left boot goes Carroll down towards full forward, and Brad Hardy, a brave mark. Real courage mark. Pushed down by Taylor. Picks up 15 metres. He had the charge of the Light Brigade coming on him then, did Brad Hardy. And he stood his ground. Only a little man, very solidly built, of course, but has taken the mark. His 15-metre penalty takes him up towards half-back. Across towards the centre of the ground. They go high. It comes to ground. Madden's there. In goes Mullane. Can't come away with the ball. Pack of players form. Taken by Waitman. He tries to handball clear. In goes Baker to pick it up onto the left boot. Down towards half-forward. The ball knocked on.
That was deft enough as the ball came to Rioli. Rioli too far out to score. Long kick towards the square. Peake.
Oh, yes. And that's the sort of marks that Brian Peake's been taking this year, Lou. Not noted really for his overhead work, but here's the high kick coming in and just uses his body enough to keep his opponent away. Not a tall player, but that was a very, very fine, strong mark.
Brian Peake only 2 metres out. A deft touch from Buckenara. And the ball found this man who finds the goal. So Western Australia 1-2, Victoria 2 behinds.
Well, it's taken 8 minutes to get the first goal on the board, 8.5 minutes in fact, and at this stage not a lot to separate the two sides. I believe that Keane is doing fairly well in the centre square then as opposed to Madden. Neither side has really got any great drive from the roving department. The player that really worries me a lot though is Williams in the set of the ground from the WA point of view. He's had something like 200 hand passes, I believe, Lou, this year, and he does use that hand pass beautifully.
Yes,
and I'm sure they'll be praying or sweating off him.
Harding is coming onto the ground. Well, about to after this centre bounce. Keane will contest with Madden. Rucks go to it. One wide of the pack by Madden. A chance for Davidson over the ball. Gets it out to Laidley. Taken high. Dean Laidley wants to play on. Goes by hand to Baker. Baker gets around Waitman. Confronted by Williams. The hand pass as a result not a good one. Thompson gets it down to Waitman. They're working at close quarters on the outer side. Quick hand pass from Williams to Waitman. He whips it out wide. Taken by Royal. Royal around the outer side for Victoria. Goes down towards full forward. Pitches awkwardly. Brilliantly taken by the big fellow who was taken high. He gathered that ball on the bounce. Awarded the free kick. He's told to play on now. Hand pass is smothered. Arriving on the scene, gathering the ball was Royal. Missed kicks. It comes to Williams. Williams 30 metres out from goal. Has kicked to behind. So Victoria can't find the goal at the moment.
Well, that was Phillies playing the part of Taylor, but just the same, I think he was a little bit confused with the umpire there because the umpire let the West Australian player creep well over the mark that time, Eric.
He pulled him back 15 metres, Lou, and that's where the confusion started, and he really was well within kicking range.
There's Danaher flying high, couldn't hold the ball, mark the ball, tap back again. A chance now for the ball to go over there to Morwood, but Danaher's a little bit slow, goes after the ball again. In goes Healy, couldn't get clear, but it's finally picked up by Laidley. A pretty smart play. He's gone for the boundary line. It'll be out of bounds. There's a bit of a box on behind play here, and we expect that today. Hardy's in the thick of things there too. I think it was after Laidley was knocked over after he kicked the ball. Victoria might have been a bit lucky that time to get away with that. It'll be the two big fellas, and he's doing well, Keane, against Madden. The ball picked up by Mitchell, showing a lot of pace. There's a go for Narkle. He's at centre half forward, goes for a pass to Ripper. And does Peake look dangerous down there at the moment? They've got to do something with Kennedy because he's letting him get away.
What a pass.
And the crowd are going mad about Peake because he's already kicked one goal. He's got a big chance to put his second on the board because he's only about 30 metres out from goal on a very slight angle.
Well, he should.
And he's a confidence player. He's only got to get another goal, and I'd say he could finish up with 6 or 7 quite easily in this match today.
Well, yes, he's got a chance to make it 2 anyway.
There it is on its way. There's no doubt about that. Another goal for West Australia. And we're just on the 12-minute mark of the first quarter, and we see West Australia doing pretty well. They're 2 goals, 3 on the board. That's 15 points to Victoria, not going so hot at the moment. 3 points only. It's 2 goals, 2, I think it is, isn't it? That's a strange scoreboard you got over there.
Well, there's a couple of them over there. One is very strange and one's peculiar.
Stereo.
Bit of guesswork there, Lou.
Centre square infringement. Which way? It's going Western Australia's way. I think Madden knows that too, but kicks it down the ground.
Penalty.
Pretty hard to get a conviction against him on that one, though. I don't think too many players did know for sure.
Turn it up.
I think he might have known, Eric.
I'm trying to even the bias out here, Lou. I'm a bit each way.
There is Sydney Swans, man. We know that. There goes the kick. Deep into attack from Keane. Pack into the air. Off hands. In fact, there's a free kick WA's way. It's going to Satori. Satori showing courage backing into that pack. And he's got the kick as a result.
Well, he's a class player, this young fellow.
They tell me he's a great player.
Well, you'll know all about it next year, Lou. I believe he's got every intention of going over to Carlton.
I think he might have been a bit lucky to get that free kick just the same.
Couldn't see it, could you?
He's not getting a free kick. It's Peake is having it.
Peake's kicked a goal.
Well, it's going to take a bit of fathoming. He's kicked 3 goals. The interesting thing about this, Lou, is if we look at it, apart from the who wins this actual match, is a championship. We figure that a margin of 4 goals Victoria would need to win it.
25 points.
Something like that, depending on the scores. All of a sudden, Western Australia with a 3-goal break, that makes that a fairly substantial task. I know it's very early days, but still.
Well, they've got to kick less than 100 points too.
But the tradition over here is we bring them off now, Lou. So when we get those 25 in front, we'll just walk, I think. Make a declaration. 3-2 to 3 behinds. There's the bounce in the centre. One down by Madden, knocked forward by Keane. Getting in the road was Carroll, showing a lot of courage. He'll take the free kick.
And the free kick to go to Carroll, round about the centre field area. Victoria in plenty of trouble. They've got only 3 behinds on the board, and West Australia 3-2, 20, 14, 20. I'll get it right in a moment. Ball punched it. Oh, great play. Ball knocked out. A fumble by Danaher. Waitman with a hand pass over to Royal. His kicker's a wild one. Coming in is Ellis. Punched on that time by Healy. As a go for Hardy goes down. They pile it. That was Morwood going in after him then, and the umpire will board it up. Pearl, I should say.
How about that lead by Jeff Miles? The former Collingwood player. I think he's anxious to get back there.
Knocked out by Poole, but waiting down is Little Mitchell. He's a smart little player too as the ball goes back towards centre field. Buckenara's got a chance here. Plays it on, picked up beautifully by Rioli. Nearly copped one that time from Williams, but drives it long. Coming out as Wilson got under it. Goes after it again. It's finally pushed out, kicked on again by Satori, and the second time. And they're showing tremendous courage, Western Australia. They're really going after it. There's a free kick to Victoria, and the free kick to go out there to Pert. So Pert to take the free kick down there in the back pocket position. West Australia 3 goals, 2-20 to Victoria, 3 behinds only. 15 minutes gone of this quarter. There's a go for Mitchell again, run into his own mate that time, Lester Smith. Over it goes from Healy, back to Williams, the ball driven up towards Taylor. That'll be a free kick and a mark too. He's got it there, and he's only about, he'd be about 30 metres out from goal. He should have a shot. He's gone for a short pass. It's a shocker. This allows Glendenning to brush DiPierdomenico off. Great play by DiPierdomenico. Out it goes wide to Wilson. Wilson on the wing position, goes for a long kick, looking for Peake again. He's in front this time, punched out by Kennedy. Over it goes to Thompson, a hand pass comes back now, and the ball finally driven away by Victoria's Pert. Out there towards the wing position. DiPierdomenico having a great battle there with Narkle, and the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position.
Paul Harding still waiting to come on.
16 and a half minutes gone of this first quarter. A torrid game here. 3 goals, 2-20 West Australia to Victoria, yet to score a goal. 3 behinds on the board.
Baker, the hurried kick down towards half forward. Offhands a chance for Davidson. Picking it up, Rioli. He started this game brilliantly. Look at that. Wizardry. Drives it down towards full forward. Drifting back is Kennedy, and he should mark for Victoria and does. Kennedy on the 25-metre defensive line for the Vicks. Looks to the outer side. Lead is offered by Mullane. That's the direction the kick takes. Mullane, half back. Not much to kick to. We'll have to pull it back. Intelligent use of the ball that time as he propped on the kick and pulled it to Poole. Poole, the defensive side of right centre wing, goes for distance down towards half forward. The target is Madden, working his way to the front. Out there was Harding. No mark taken. It comes to Williams. Williams gets it wide, taken on the outer side then by Buse. Buse feeds it into Royal. Royal now with time. Shocking kick into the forward line. Brilliantly gathered on the half volley by Waitman. Out it comes to Alvin. 25 metres out. Draws a man over the top. Brereton. Brereton 5 metres out and closing. Pops it through.
So the first goal badly needed by the Victorians at this early stage of the game. I just feel, Dennis, they have made a couple of mistakes. The critical one by Taylor, and the ball comes out on that occasion to Royal. Goes for a short pass, which is ineffectual, but it works out okay because Waitman got the hand pass across, and then it's a simple conversion over the top by Tommy Alvin to Brereton. But Taylor really should have gone back and had a shot a while ago, and a couple of short kicks have gone astray when long kicks would have been the order of the day.
Well, it's taken them 17 minutes to score their first goal.
Play restarts. Madden opposed to Harding. It's one down by the Victorian. Through the hands of Healy initially. Scramble develops. Buse has got the ball. The umpire calls for it. Overcast day in the city. The breeze is coming from the east. It's favouring the end of which Western Australia are going. Probably worth a couple of goals. Madden wins it down with his right hand. At the base of the pack, working hard in there as Buse yet again can't control it. And the umpire once more, this time umpire Johnson, calls for a bounce. Plenty of players around the ball. A lot of spirit, a lot of endeavour early in this game. Harding opposed to Madden. Madden comes over the top, but Harding wins it down. It's taken by Thompson, surrounded, tries to crash his way out. Socket off the ground by Williams. In turn, it's socket by Glendenning towards half forward. The carry of the ball favours Roos, who knocks it away from one West Australian, only to be confronted by another. Rioli pulls it back, knocked away by Carroll, wide of the pack. Roos comes crashing back in for Victoria. He's got the ball at half back. Spears a hand pass out to Carroll. Carroll long to Healy. Healy on the run from half back. Magnificent hand pass as he sends it to Danaher. Danaher gets around the traffic. And again, he's in trouble now. Drops it quickly onto the boot. Can't gather the ball there, Victoria. It bounces off the leg of a Victorian Royal. Comes across in turn to Buse now, though. Buse in congestion. Pops it in short, and the mark is taken by the big fellow. Just dropping back. That's Simon Madden. Simon Madden, quick to play on. Puts it to the square. That's a little ambitious, but Taylor, strength, takes the mark.
Well, he was too strong there for the West Australian player, Miles. And Miles, an ex-Collingwood player, of course. Well, now a chance for a goal here to Taylor. He's got on the kick-off mark, and this will be Victoria's second if he's successful. They're 9 points at the moment to West Australia, 20 points. There it is. That's a goal to Taylor. So Taylor's got his first goal in the match, going up there to thank his teammates for the good work. And we see the scoreboard now, 3 goals, 2-20. West Australia to Victoria, 2 goals, 3, 15 points.
Signs of nerves really by players on both sides there, Lou. Again, I thought WA, Rioli once and Mitchell once, went for short hand pass, which really were not on at any stage. And that caused a bit of a mix-up in the centre of the ground, which gave Victoria the break.
Well, they've got a couple of dangerous players out there. Rioli looking very dangerous, and so is that little Mitchell. And, of course, the ruckman's doing fairly well. That's the big fella Keane against Madden.
So far, yes.
Ball knocked out that time by Victoria, pushed up there by Healy. There's a chance now for Baker. He's grabbed by Danaher, crashed his way through, or trying to crash his way through the pack that time was Glendinning. And the umpire will ball it up down towards Victoria's centre half forward position. The crowd gradually building up now, and I'd say it's getting pretty close to 40,000 people. There she goes. Well, that was Harding going for the knockout against Madden. In goes Glendinning, but they pile up again, and the umpire will ball it up round about centre half forward.
6 kicks to Rioli so far, Lou, so he's certainly having plenty of influence.
Well, he's
from the
looking
centre.
good. And, of course, that little Mitchell always looks dangerous, and Hardy got away on a couple of occasions with a magnificent kick from centre half forward, knocked out by Madden. The ball pushed on, picked up by Baker again, smothered. As we see it picked up here now, out it comes, a chance for Danaher. Over it goes now to Royal. He'll straighten up fire. Too long for Taylor. He tried to pass it to Taylor instead of having a shot from that close range. I can't understand that, really. As we wait now for the ball to come back into play. Out she goes now. There's a chance for Mitchell to mark this one. He will. Good mark for the little rover. A very smart player. Out there at half-back. Boots it out towards the wing position. Coming at the back was Satori. Couldn't hold the mark. Going after is Ellis. He's grabbed by Ruse. Ruse doing a great job. Coming through his fouls. Picked it up very firmly as he goes for the long kick. Glendinning got under that one. Good play on the part of little Waitman. Then too, Werner was grabbed. The umpire called play on Waitman again. Over it goes now, and Healy has a running shot at goal. That'll come around nicely. That's a goal, and Victoria hit the front. Great goal that time, and good play on the part of Waitman. Perfect play.
Well, that's the first time, I think, since the early moments that they got a couple of points as the ball's in replay. Fed out to Gerard Healy, and he's a pretty slick man around the goals. Looked as though he might have dragged it momentarily, but it straightened up nicely. And a great goal to Gerard Healy. So Victoria in front by the barest of margins. Very, very hectic stuff here in the first quarter.
25 minutes gone of this first quarter. Victoria hit the front. It took them 17 minutes to score their first goal, but they're looking a lot better now. Knocked out by Madden. The ball kicked back that time by Baker. Chance here for Carroll to mark. Settling down well on that half-back flank. Takes the mark at centre half-back. He's had Buckenara pretty well covered. Finally, it's picked up now by Fowles. Fowles is over the half-forward line looking for Healy. Healy having a great battle there with Ellis. The umpire's going to pay that marker a free kick.
Well, he paid the mark for Endeavour, I think. I don't really know whether he controlled it.
It could have been a free kick there too, Eric.
Wasn't a bad effort nonetheless. In fact, he had to do it because the Victorians were on the break again.
Good play by Ellis. He sends the ball back to centre field. Punched out by the Victorian defence. That was Carroll getting it down. Oh, we see Rioli grabbed. He didn't have the ball that time. I think this is about his 8th or 9th possession in the first quarter. He's played a great game. Seems to be all over the place. I don't know if he's playing in the centre or not.
He is now. I think he started out of the forward pocket, but he's since moved into the centre. Oops.
Well, he's gone for a hand pass to Lester Smith. He's looking wide, looking for the little fella again. He's looking dangerous, Mitchell. Oh, balks beautifully around Waitman. Goes for a short pass, and the ball is grabbed here now. This time by Wiley. Wiley's kick is not too good, and it's through for 1 point.
It changed jumpers. That's Blackwell.
Is that Blackwell? It changed jumpers. Well, they can do that.
Sneaky,
What's Wiley wear? What number does he wear?
Wiley's not playing.
Today.
Not playing. So
Wiley's
that's
out
Blackwell
altogether,
now,
apparently. Yep.
Well, okay, the ball back into play again. Out it goes, a chance for Carroll. As I said before, doing a great job out there at half-back. Ball comes back to Williams, and Poole's there too, and he's there to get there first. Over to Williams. Williams looking for someone to give the hand pass. He's found Alvin out there on the wing position. Another pass coming up. Taylor having a great battle. He get one in the back. The crowd didn't seem to think so. Well, they wouldn't think that over here, I shouldn't imagine. And the ball is out of bounds, just on the Victorian 50-metre mark in their attacking zone.
Williams accumulating his usual number of hand pass, up to 5 already, Lou, in the first quarter.
Victoria lead by 2 points. It's one wide of the pack by Harding, taken by Mullane. Gets a hand pass across to Williams. Williams chips it for a more central location. Royal was interfered with, I thought so. Royal will take the free kick directly in front, only 30 metres out. Very courageous little player is Royal, and he and Waitman causing a lot of concern. Now, why would he want to short pass the ball there? He actually thought about that.
He gave it a bit of thought, didn't he? This is the free kick as we wait on it. Royal, well, I don't suppose you can interfere with a player to that extent, can you?
No. He's only 30 metres out, Royal. Distance is no problem at all, yet he toyed with the idea of going short. As it was, he kicks a goal. Victoria's 4th. They're 4-9. Or was it 4-5? 4-5. Western Australia 3-3.
Yes, and no doubt about the roving situation. Dennis Brian Royal just had his 6th kick. which was that goal you saw. And he, with Wakeman, has been very, very busy, doing very well. Very impressed with Carroll on the half-back flank. He's completely shut Buckenara out of it, and he's a player that West Australia would certainly be looking to give them a bit of momentum across that half-forward line, and also at centre-half forward Satori rather quiet.
8 points the difference, played 27 minutes, opening term of this State of Origin game. It's one down by Madden, who since Keane's gone off the ground has really dictated the tune there on the ball, and perhaps that's the barometer of this first quarter, as Glendinning has claimed. Brereton, the defending player, dropping the ball. In fact, it's a free kick the other way. It'll be taken by Brereton.
Well, Glendinning wasn't wrapped, but he's looking a little bit slow to me. In fact, his form this year, I believe, hasn't been all that special.
Well, it hasn't been the best, Eric.
No one standing the mark as Brereton goes down towards full forward. Lester Smith gets a fist in there and copped one for his quarter. Falls forward to the pack. Harding swings it out grandstand side. Leading in the race now, Buckenara. Buckenara pulls it back superbly to a Boyce. That's all it could have been. Mitchell's got it. Some support, moral if nothing else, was lent by Narkle. Mitchell chips it down looking for Satori. Satori gets the half volley, crashes past a teammate, gets it across to Rioli. Hurried kick towards full forward. Great effort, Rioli. WA's fourth, they're 4-3, Victoria 4-5.
Well, that was a spectacular goal, and one that West Australia certainly needed, because the Victorians had kicked the preceding 4 and things were looking a bit ominous as the ball comes down. Now, a lot of fiddling went on here. First of all, Narkle got in the road of Satori. Satori almost tagged then and may have got a free kick, but Rioli one grab and one kick, and that's the brilliance of this player. That was his 7th kick.
Yes,
I think his ball control is really the key. He is quite superb.
Just on the 30-minute mark, 2 points the difference. The ball knocked out by Harding, comes down to DiPietro Manico. Buckenara, DiPietro knocks it on again. A hand pass coming out that time. A short one wide. There's a go for little Mitchell. He'll drive it deep, looking down there for Peake, having a battle down there. The ball punched out again and knocked through and played it safe by Kennedy. The crowd didn't like that at all.
Well, not a lot of options was there to Kennedy on that occasion. He had to do it. Alexander standing there with one of the West Australian selectors, Ken Armstrong, looking rather concerned.
Point the difference. We're over the 30-minute mark of this first quarter. The pack fly, it's finally picked up by Mullane. Well grabbed by Davidson. It'll be another stack up there, and the umpire will ball it up out there about 60 metres out from the West Australian goal. Victoria looking a lot better than they did in the early part of this quarter. Good knockout by Madden, picked up by Williams, doing very well in the centre. Great juggle by Mullane around the wing position, and the ball will go up. But there's the end of the quarter, and a great one it was too by both these sides. 4 goals for 28 Western Australia to Victoria, 4 goals, 5-29.
Victoria lead by a point. They've got the 8 of the breeze in this quarter. The State of Origin game from Subiaco Oval. Bounce down comes from umpire Johnson. It's one forward by Keane, who's back out there now. Will this lift WA's stocks? Oh. Going through the pack is Baker. Baker is claimed high by DiPietro Domenico.
He's another player, Dennis, that would need to lift for WA. I think he had about 2 or 3 possessions only in the first quarter, and he can do a lot better than that.
Narkle yards in the clear. That's the direction the kick takes. He can move around that other side, Phil Narkle. Men on in the centre. He pulls it back, looking for Buckenara. Buckenara taking the tumbling mark. It was played. It did sneak out.
Maybe the umpire may have almost guessed at it. Unusual passage of play straight across the Narkle, perhaps predetermined before they started the quarter, and then Buckenara leading up the middle. Now he could, well, maybe give us a bit of a nudge, Dennis. He'll be kicking from 55 or thereabouts.
This will tell us about the breeze, because he can kick it a long way. It is a long kick, but it falls in short eventually. Holding up at the breeze. Offhand's a chance for Mitchell. Mitchell collided with by Royal. They're going in solidly. Kennedy and Peake don't like each other, and there's going to be a bounce.
I can understand Kennedy's point of view. He's kicked 3 goals on him.
Bounce down about 20 metres, 25 metres out from goal. Tommy Alvin just cruising through. Off hands, a chance for Healy to pick up the ball. He can't. Waiting behind. Folds dives after it in desperation for Victoria. Umpire Johnson decides he'll ball it up yet again. WA would like an early goal. For that matter, so would Victoria.
I think so.
Satori opposed to Madden. Madden won it down. Socket off the ground by Blackwell. Over the ball, Western Australia not making much progress. Blackwell goes back in, gets it to Buckenara, who misses. Gathered by Williams. Dexterous use of the hand pass. He shot it out, and Victoria take it to the outer side. Laurie Keane, he's agile for a big fellow. Look at that. Just gathers the ball in full stride. Me and my big mouth.
Well, it certainly deserved a lot better. He picked that up beautifully for a big fella, didn't he?
Why didn't you leave him alone, Dennis?
I'm sorry, Laurie, I'm sorry.
But it happens every time, Dennis. They let you down when you give them the big rap. The ball goes back there towards Brereton. Good play by Lester Smith. Goes the thump on that time, and the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position. Into this second quarter by 2 minutes. And it's Western Australia 4 goals, 4-28 to Victoria, 4-5-29. A very tough tussle. There's a go for Royal. He played a great game in the first quarter. Coming out as Taylor, he's got it again. Copped a heavy one that time. I think Laidley got him as he was going past, but he's okay. He's a big, strong boy. And, of course, he's already kicked 1 goal. Could have easily had another 2 on the board. Strong mark that time, Eric.
Yeah, judged it perfectly. Laidley was never in any sort of a position to contest on that occasion, and perhaps all best he could have done is got on the road, which he partly did, but not enough, because Taylor now he shouldn't have too many difficulties from here, Lou.
Well,
Pretty simple shot.
He's directly in front from about 35 metres out. There's the kick on its way, and that's a goal. The umpire didn't have to move for that one. So Victoria moving on again. It's West Australia 4 goals for 28 to Victoria 5-5-35. So good start for this second quarter by the Vics.
I just wonder what options Alexander has at fullback with Taylor and Miles. At the moment, Taylor looks a little bit too strong for him, and he's been in great form, Lou. He's kicked something like, what, 7 or 8 goals last week down to Geelong?
Well, he's the leading league goal kicker at the moment.
Yep.
Bounce down back in the centre. Play restarting with Keane winning it wide of the pack. Keane gets another attempt and moves the ball to Buckenara. Buckenara fires the ball into the path of Peake, and Peake has taken the mark. What a superb
That's
kick
15
by
metres, I'd
Buckenara.
suggest.
metres.
In fact, that's the way it is.
No.
I reckon Peake's played a sensational game. But he kicked 3 goals in that first quarter. He's leading beautifully, Eric.
Not a bad pass in from Buckenara, though, either. Really.
Yeah, but you've got to make the lead, haven't
sure
you?
do.
They're
Yes.
making space for him too, aren't they,
That's
to run
right.
into. There goes the Brian Peake kick. His 4th goal is on the board. Western Australia 5-4, Victoria 5-5. Top game of football as Waterson comes on and Miles comes off for Western Australia.
I know that our friends down at Geelong will be very pleased to know that Peake is playing so well, because he had a nickname when playing at Victoria at the final stages of his career. There was past his peak, and he's certainly not past his peak here today. He's kicked 4 goals. A fantastic effort by Peake.
There's the bounce. Put down by umpire Johnson. 1 down by Madden, taken by Mullane, dragged off the kick. It spills wide. Leading in the race now is Ellis. Dives on the ball. Well, almost. Poole comes through, gets a hand pass to Royal. What a game he's playing. Downwards full forward. Half volley for Taylor. Clean bowl. Chance for Waitman. Putting his body in brilliantly was Hardy. Made some space for Waterson, who's just on the ground, and the 222s collide there as cannoning into Waterson was Taylor. The free kick in the opposite pocket has been awarded to Glendinning. He goes short to Rioli. Yards in the clear as McNish down the ground. That's the direction the kick takes. McNish drifting in, takes the mark. Over-committed was Mullane. The hand pass comes across to Baker. Baker goes to right half forward. Buckenara. Peake is dropping back for him. Peake yards in the clear. Will the ball carry? Bounces awkwardly. Peake controls it. Goal number 5. Will it bounce?
Yes!
It's in.
Oh, what a performance Peake's putting up at the moment.
5 kicks, 5 goals. Well, you
Well,
can't do much better than that,
you can't
can
do-
you?
that's- They call 100% football, and it even did an off break, so luck is falling his way. You watch it break the other way, Eric.
Well, just about held its own, I thought, Lou. I don't want to... the thing about Peake, though, he used his body superbly again, and that is an outstanding performance, and maybe Geelong might have thought that. Perhaps he didn't reach his real peak at Geelong, but he
Well,
certainly
there's
has
an
today.
old saying in Victorian football: when you're hot, and when you're not, you're not. Peake is certainly hot as the ball comes back towards the Victorian half-forward line, picked up by Blackwell. Oh, good mark to Tommy Elfin, a little bit too tall for little Mitchell. They're still in there doing pretty well. They're in front 40 points to Victoria 35. A 5-point leeway and a good mark to Brown. A quick hand pass. Comes over to Waitman looking for Taylor. He's away from his opponent, but I think it'll beat him. It'll be out of bounds. Yes, out of bounds about 25 metres around from the Victorian goal. And they're trailing by 5 points. So Victoria in the hot seat.
Devin
And this-
Burton, Lou, is absolutely killing Glendinning at the moment.
Yes, he's doing pretty well. And of course, this 40,000 crowd are right behind these West Australians. Oh, good knockout by Keane. We see Royal upended. The big beanpole knocked him down as he called timber, and down he went.
That was great stuff, actually.
And
Great
again,
commitment, wasn't
Keane
it?
is doing as he did in the first 20 minutes or so of the first quarter. He's doing very well on the set about.
Well, I wouldn't take him off the ball. Ball comes back there, was knocked out by Taylor. Laidley can't pick it up, but he won't give it. A very determined player. They're good play on the part of Laidley. He couldn't pick it up, but he made sure nobody else was going to get it. So it'll be a ball up about 15 metres out from the Victorian goal. And as I said before, they're trailing by 5 points. Once again, it's the big fella Keane. Back to Laidley. Hardy's there. He's grabbed. Well tackled that time by Poole. And there we see Lamb. He was grabbed, was dropping the ball. Well tackled that time by Waitman. He's got a chance to score a goal here on a difficult angle, but he'd only be about 20 metres out from goal, possibly 25. Right on the boundary line, a goal Victoria badly need because they're trailing by... Listen to that crowd giving him the raspberry now as he fires at the goals. Now that's 1 point, so the difference is 4 points into this second quarter by just over 7 minutes.
across to Satori. Satori sweeping hand pass to accommodate this man Davidson. Davidson goes down towards full forward. Peake is down there. In front is Pert. Pert fist away. Didn't go very far. Over the ball is Thompson. Peake claiming another Victorian in that congestion. And the umpire decides to bounce it, getting up gingerly as Folds. Will have a bounce about 30 metres out from WA's attacking goal. Western Australia 8-4-52. Victoria 5-6-36. There's the bounce. It's one down by Salmon. Smothered off the boot of Ruse, spills out towards half forward. Davidson goes to ground. Blackwell in there working hard. It's picked up now by Williams. Victoria on a roll towards centre wing. In front is Healy. From behind is fisted away by Hardy. Healy the better recovery. Feeds a hand pass inside. Whiteman. Look at him run, but he left the ball behind. Opportunistic play by Hardy. Was he pushed in the back? Yes, he's going to get a free kick.
Bit lucky.
Hardy gets it across to Lester Smith. Lester Smith on the emblem. Goes down towards half forward. Not a good kick. Mullane gets back to take the mark. Up comes Carroll. Hurried kick high towards centre wing. Who'll be first back? Will it pitch in the field of play? Yes, it does. One bounce out of bounds. Will have a throw in at the 12.5-minute mark of this second term. At quarter time, Victoria led by a point. It's no coincidence WA's resurgence is linked to that man. Hands on hips, Laurie Keane. Salmon is now battling with him. No difference. Keane won it down, but it's sharked by Abuse. A high kick inside 50. Laidley going back. Storming out is Taylor. Waterson knocks it away from him. Close to the boundary line. Waterson content to run it out of bounds.
He had a quick look at the boundary umpire there in great hope that he hadn't noticed, but he's about 1.5 metres across, but he did the right thing, obviously.
16 points the difference at the 17-minute mark. It's been all Western Australia so far. The big fellow again. That was knocked out by Taylor. Juggled by Hardy. He'll go for the boundary line. The ball is out about 25 metres around from the Victorian goal. Victorians appear to be very hesitant down there in defence. They're making a lot of mistakes and, of course, letting these West Australian forwards run wild. Ball back into play again. Knocked out by Keane. Well, there was a heavy bump that time to Lamb to Blackwell from Brereton. Stopped him in his tracks, but at least it's kept it in Victoria's attacking zone, only about 30 metres out from their goal. They're trailing by 16 points. Now they're in plenty of trouble if they want to win this championship. Knocked out by Taylor. Over it goes now. The ball comes back to Buse. We see Poole trying to get out, but they just swamp him. He had no hope. There was about 5 of them dived on him then.
No hope at all, Lou. They certainly swarmed on him, and really the tackling of West Australia in this early part of the second quarter has been a feature of their play.
Well, they're very aggressive. And they're looking good, 16 points in front. But the Victorians will bounce back. Don't worry about that. Knocked out by Taylor over there to Little Roy, but he couldn't get clear once again. We've got a bit of a stalemate here. About 25 metres out from the Victorian goal. Still 16 points the difference. And we're just on the 15-minute mark. Will that be a free kick? The umpire said no. I thought it could have been against Keane, but he said no. It was quite okay. It'll be still a ball up, so we've had about 5 there in a matter of 2 minutes.
I thought Taylor was a bit stiff not to get a kick there.
That's right, I thought so. I thought it could have been against the big fellow.
There's the bounce. Keane opposed to Taylor.
That's a free.
Got to get it now.
Oh, no.
It's going WA's way.
Well, he may have said he balked him. I don't know. We'd like to see that again.
Lou, the thing is, I think if I lived to be 150, I would never understand the infringements that take place at ruck bounce stands. I would have given that to Taylor myself.
Well, Keane's got the free.
Oh, that's got to be to Taylor.
Blackwell at half-back, cuts infield. High kick towards the centre of the ground. Big pack at the fall of the ball off the hands of Wilson. Roving the pack. Run down brilliantly was Waitman by Wilson, but it's going to be a free kick to Waitman for a push in the back.
Well, technically maybe a good tackle, though, I thought, by Wilson, but he did certainly carry forward a little bit of momentum, but not a bad tackle.
He came out of that pack as though he was catapulted, didn't he, Wilson? There goes the kick from Waitman down towards full forward. The big fellow is down there, Taylor. Hit him in the mush. Running behind, a chance for Hardy. Hardy with ample time and a couple of good shepherds goes to the outer side. Intelligent use of the ball. Baker's got it. Where will he go? Narkle. No, Narkle is closed down the ground. Eventually, he's forced to kick in that direction. He didn't want to, and that's the reason why Di Domenico is simply too tall. Narkle really didn't work hard enough down the ground that time, Eric.
He had a couple of options, Baker, coming out. That was the worst of them, and he picked it, unfortunately, for WA.
The third of 2 options. There goes the kick in towards half forward. Keane was up, couldn't take the mark. Gets a hand pass out wide. Rioli surrounded, in trouble. Could have almost been holding the ball. Emerging with the ball now is Waitman. Waitman 40 metres out, kicks a goal for Victoria.
Well, you can easily tell that's a Victorian goal. It sounded like the public library then, didn't it, really?
Yes, dead silence. They had to work pretty hard. The ball has been in the 50-metre circle there for Victoria for quite a considerable period of time. That's one of the few times that they've been able to break clear. And Dale Waitman, who's certainly had a lot of possessions, hand passes most of them, finally threads through what is really a fairly badly needed goal for Victoria.
Certainly is. 42 plays 52. 10 points the difference in favour of Western Australia. Into this quarter, the second by 17 minutes. Knocked out by Salmon, getting up higher that time. It's great play by Williams. A long kick looking for Taylor. He dropped an easy one. Should have marked that. He fumbled it. There's Hardy going after it. Oh, great play. He's played it safe. It'll go out of bounds, but at least Victoria couldn't go deep into attack. Then that was great play by Hardy.
Taylor did all the heavy work there, Lou, and once the ball came to him, he shouldn't have missed the mark for sure.
Ball out of bounds about 40 metres around from the Victorian goal. Ball pushed out by Satori. Well grabbed by Mitchell. A hand pass coming over to Baker. Baker goes for a pass, and what a beauty. Oh, it was too long that time for Rioli. Picked up that time by Fowles. Hooks it back towards centre-half forwards. Picked up again by Williams. A hand pass coming over now to Morwood. Out wide to Thompson. Thompson goes for a pass. Taylor's got this one. Well, he can hardly drop it. He's already kicked 2 goals. He'd be about 40 metres out from goal by the time he kicks this one on a very slight angle, and Victoria trailing by 10 points.
And Taylor, once he gets that front position, he's got enough toe. He's not the fastest player I've ever seen, but he's got enough pace to hold on to the front position. And on that occasion, he did so fairly comfortably with Wallason on his heel. And again, this game is turning, and not coincidentally, Western Australia, I think, is taking Keane off the ball.
There's the kick on its way, and that's another goal to Victoria, so the difference only 4 points now into this quarter by just on 18 minutes, and that's 3 goals to Taylor. 8 goals for 52 Western Australia to Victoria 7-6-48, and this has been a crackerjack game here today.
Well, Victoria very prominent, Dennis, in the 2 key forward positions, aren't they? Centre-half forward Burton, I think, is well on top of Glendenning, and further down the ground, Taylor 3 goals, perhaps could have done even a little bit better than that.
Always a danger, Taylor. Harding up on the ball now, opposed to Salmon. There's Williams working hard in that centre square. Mullane gets a hand pass out wide, and Victoria work it forward off the boot of Thompson. Out in front, Hughes takes the mark, plays on very quickly to Healy. Healy at right half forward, goes down towards the pocket. It'll pitch in front of Thompson. Was he interfered with? Not according to the umpire Johnson. Laidley gets back right on the boundary line. Laidley a little indecisive, and it's a good thing for WA. It was called out of bounds.
He kicked it straight back into a couple of Victorians, one of whom was Royal, who finished up with the ball, and the only other option he had really was Gerard Healy.
Dwayne Lamb is on the ground. Coming off is Wayne Blackwell, who worked hard while he was on. There's Blackwell wearing Robert Wiley's Guernsey as listed. One down by Harding. Going through the pack was Baker without the ball. It comes to Buckenara. Hurried kick out of defence. High grandstand side. Salmon should mark. Great work, in fact, there by Dwayne Lamb as he got Salmon out of the way.
Blocked him beautifully, didn't he?
Yep, and Satori over the top, but it's going to be a free kick to Salmon. Well, dare we say anything, Luke?
No, that's right, but I thought he did the right thing, the little fella, and the crowd agree with us too.
That's not surprising. Obviously, Salmon did too. He had a pang of conscience and kicked it straight to Lamb. Lamb goes down towards half forward, is knocked away from McNish. Waiting behind a chance for Carroll now. Carroll comes through the pack and sends Victoria back to their half forward line. Hardy.
Good body work by Glendenning, though, to get Brereton away from him.
You'd swear blind he had a leather magnet in his arms, wouldn't you?
Nobody likes him.
Wide, taken by Lester Smith. Lester Smith pulls it around the corner. Narkle with a chance to take it and run. He's confronted by Thompson. It spills across to Satori. Satori is taken high according to the umpire, and he wins a free kick on the outer side. There goes the kick from Satori down towards the right full forward pocket. Up in front was Buckenara. Crashing his way through there was Pert. Coming into the pack solidly to Mullane. Ball spills back to Pert. Pert gets it towards the boundary. In goes Peake. He goes to ground. Healy's over the ball now. Slaps it out only as far as Rioli. Rioli pulls it back looking for a more central location. Keane is surrounded. Brilliant tackle applied by Thompson. Should have been a Victorian free kick. Not paid. Picked up by Royal. He slung off it. In goes Mitchell. Mitchell, look at the Victorians around him. Was he grabbed by the leg? He's going to get a free kick.
Well, that was a free kick against Keane for sure for holding the ball.
No question. Mitchell goes down towards the pocket. On a lead, Buckenara, and surrounded. Buckenara takes the mark, and a little bit more as cannoning into him was Gary Pert. Buckenara to take the kick in 15 metres, I'd suggest.
Not forthcoming, I don't believe. The distance wouldn't worry Buckenara anyway, Dennis. He certainly can roost that football. And in fact, he's come into prominence in the latter part, since the latter part of the first quarter. Precious kick, this one. They all are, aren't they, in a tight situation like this?
Great game of footy. Buckenara close to the man on the mark. Puts it to the square. Laurie Keane almost the mark. Off hands Peake. Number 6. Number 6, or did it brush the post? It brushed the post. But Carroll was quick to tell the goal umpire.
Okay, and the ball marked here now by Hardy. Got the nasty one that time from Williams. Got a 15-metre penalty, a hand pass coming back now to Hardy again. And the West Australians go into attack again. Carroll flies. He's put off balance that time by Satori. Grabbed by Thompson. Peake still there too. Thompson got a hand pass out, but Mitchell snapped that up pretty quickly. Over it goes to Davidson up towards the full forward position. Up the top of the pack. Here's a go for Buckenara. It'll be a goal. And listen to the crowd going wild here at Subiaco Oval. So now we see Victoria still in plenty of trouble. 9 goals, 5-59 West Australia to Victoria 7-6-48.
Well, that was absolutely superb use of the body there by Buckenara. He didn't want to contest the mark. Laurie Keane is being taken from the ground, and that's amazing to me. He's been the best player for West Australia in my book. Buckenara, 2 kicks to quarter time. He's had 6 since then, and he's really been a dominant half forward.
And Carroll is being carried off.
Well, that's bad news for Sydney.
Dennis Carroll is being carried off by some Victorian trainers. In fact, I think they're de facto Victorian trainers, local trainers from the Subiaco club by the looks of things. Meantime, the ball is in centre field. Diving on top of is Glendinning. He's claimed, and there's going to be a bounce.
Well, that's bad luck for Carroll. Of course, he's had a sensational season. He's in a bit of trouble down there on the boundary line too.
Bounce from umpire Castle. Western Australia 9-5-59. Victoria 7-6-48. Trying to push his way through the pack was Baker, gathered by Mullane. A kick towards half forward for Victoria. WA with the numbers. Lester Smith took a risk. Mitchell fell over, does it brilliantly. Trying to get the ball out of the pack to Laidley. There's going to be a Victorian free. It'll go to Royal. Royal held without it on the 50-metre line, foxing for 15 metres, which would put him within scoring range. Not forthcoming. Glendinning stands the mark.
13th kick for Royal. Dennis, he's been a very busy player.
He and Waitman both playing exceptionally well. The 2 prime movers for Victoria today. Royal a long telling kick towards full forward. And they were a little bit proppy, the West Australians getting back to give some tall coverage there.
Well, in fact, nobody was behind the goal line for the big leap over the top, which is fairly common these days, I guess. I would have thought it might have been worth a chance.
9-5-7-7. WA lead at Waterson, favouring the outer side, looking for Lamb. Waitman puts his body in. Lamb, almost a brilliant one-hander, not paid. Going in solidly was Buse. Back comes Waitman, and there's going to be a bounce.
Funny, there's a siren for half-time. A strange place to kick for Waterson. Lamb out number 2-1.
So half-time in the State of Origin game at Subiaco Oval, and Western Australia lead at 9-5-59 to Victoria's 7-7-49. Backshaw holds the ball aloft. The State of Origin game past halfway now. Keane and Madden to do the ruck work. The bounce favours Madden. He wins it down. It's taken there by Morwood. The hand pass not a particularly good one. And that was a blatant push in the back to Royal, as you saw. No. Well, if you're going to have free kicks, they take all the controversy out as Royal plays on, drives down towards half forward. At the fall of the ball, WA well represented, but Brereton, kickless in the second term, comes across the face of the pack and takes a very strong mark. Dermot Brereton too far out to score, goes down towards the right full forward pocket, ill-directed, and Lester Smith is made to work for that mark. Brian Taylor rather crude.
Still working for it.
Yeah, it's almost a submission hold.
I think they're firing for Taylor a little bit too much, Victoria, instead of going directly at the goals and hoping to God they can pick up a few crumbs down there too, because that was a bad pass. Taylor had no hope at all, Eric.
No, true.
Lester Smith has gone on with the business. The result of his kick sees the ball off hands. Harms gets a hand pass across to support. Poole's kick not a particularly good one. Wobbles across the face of the ground. Chance for Di Domenico. In comes Thompson. In fact, it was Thompson who kicked it initially, I think.
I would have penalised
ground.
Di Domenico for holding the ball on that occasion. I don't believe he made any.
No, he didn't either.
Bounce from umpire Johnson on the point of the square, the attacking side of centre for Victoria. Out towards right half forward, in fact for Western Australia. One down by Madden, fisted on by Rioli, knocked on in turn by Wilson, taken by Harms of Victoria. Gets a hand pass to Kennedy. Kennedy from half back, a high kick towards centre wing, working his way in front. Buse couldn't take the mark. Di Domenico's got it now, gets a hand pass to Royal. What a game he's played, well, but knocking it away from him this time, Western Australia's Miles. Hand pass comes out to Davidson. Davidson uses the ball brilliantly, finds Mitchell. Mitchell will go long to the square. Dropping back is McNish. Buckenara in from the side, paid the mark.
Free kick.
I think he marked it, Blue.
Yeah, I think he's giving both. I thought he could have got both there,
that was
Eric.
A beautiful piece of play there by McNish, who led into the open spaces to call for that ball. I'd pay that a mark or a free kick, please yourself. But I thought McNish read that ball beautifully and created that opportunity, even though now Buckenara should get the glory for it.
He's kicked 1 goal so far. Gary Buckenara 15 metres out, directly in front, a chance to stretch WA's lead. In he comes deliberately, and he steers it right through the middle. Western Australia 10-5, Victoria 7-7.
Of course, Victoria in a bit of trouble. They've already lost Carroll.
Yes, and Buckenara, he's a player, Lou, as we all know, can destroy a defence in the space of a very short time. And probably from about the 10-minute mark of the second quarter, he's done his best to do that. It's his second goal, as you said, Dennis, but a very ominous sign now. The Victorians just slipped behind by almost 3 goals, and in a fairly tight situation, that's a fairly substantial lead.
Well, it's 16 points the difference, just on the 3-minute mark of this third quarter. A vital one for Victoria. They've got to get a quick goal here. A chance for Madden. Grabs that one. It's not a good kick. It'll come out. Oh, there's nearly a free kick to Victoria, but it's picked up by Buckenara. Coming into the game since about halfway through the second quarter. Rioli with a beautiful hand pass. Coming over now to Mitchell. Up it goes towards Peake. He's got the sit here. He's going to let this go. Good play on the part of Peake. Magnificent play. Oh, gosh, they're running well now. A 22-point lead. And, of course, Victoria had to win by 25 points to win the championship, and they're not going to win it the way they're going at the moment.
Now, this is the player that set it up. Again, Rioli, superb hand pass. Now, Mitchell closing on the 50-metre line. Peake had dropped back and is calling for that ball. Now uses his body superbly to get Danaher out of the way and through for another precious goal to Victoria, Western Australia.
22 points the difference. West Australia looking $1 million. Knocked out that time by Matt, not a good one. Going through for Victoria was Williams, who's played a pretty good game in the centre, but just the same, Rioli's been a superb player in the same position for West Australia. A very creative player. Madden got the tap down, but Victoria can't drag it away. It's a hand pass coming out to Williams from Morwood. The ball shot over the half-forward line. Taylor having a battle as they go now. The ball picked up here by Sam and over to Waitman. This could be a score. He straightens up, fires at the goals. Not badly needed one. Yes, a goal to Victoria. They'll bounce back. Don't worry about that. Just on the 5-minute mark, we see the difference, 16 points again.
Yes, I don't think anybody would doubt that. There goes the hand pass out as despite the desperate efforts of Watterson, Waitman, too much pace and well shepherded, got the break he needed and steered through his second goal, and he really has been one of Victoria's better players. We mentioned 6 hand passes and 5 kicks to half-time. It looks as though he's going on with the business.
Bounce back in the centre. Madden and Keane go to it. It's one down by the West Australian. DP Domenico put a hand in there, couldn't control the ball.
Well, actually got in the way of Royal that time. He was coming out with it, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. It's Phil Narkle, plus the headgear. Bounce down beside the centre circle. Madden and Keane working hard. Rioli tries to go through the pack. Di Domenico in all sorts of trouble there. Alvin goes in. Di Domenico doesn't move it far. Spills across towards Blackwell. Alvin knocks it out of the pack intelligently. Royal once more. What a game he's played. Kicks down towards half-foot. Great desperation from Miles. Taken by Lester Smith. Great stuff by the WA defence as Lester Smith sends it to the outer side. Drifting back, the mark is taken out there by Mitchell. That must be 15 metres.
He's an explosive player, Mitchell, and if he, in fact, he's got that 15 metres you're after, Dennis.
Mitchell, where will he go? Down towards the pocket. Shocking kick, and the mark is taken in defence by the Footscray defender Rick Kennedy, who kicks it high. Other side, pack into the air. A Victorian player was held approaching the ball out there, and the free kick will be taken by Morwood.
Ridiculous. West Australia had the numbers and didn't need to do it.
Morwood goes wide. Mark taken by Healy. Healy's on centre wing. Looks inside. The hand pass comes back to Morwood, who runs towards half forward. Kicks across that line. WA there in number. And a splendid one-hander is dragged down by Rod Lester-Smith. Feeds a hand pass to Hardy. Hardy out of defence comes grandstand side. The target is Satori. Knocked away by Kennedy. Roving the pack, it's Thompson. Thompson of Victoria looking downfield. Goes for distance. Not a good kick. Keane should be in the way. Fists away, in fact, from Royal. Well, David and Goliath. Royal with courage goes back after the ball yet again. They're on top of the ball down there, and the umpire calls for a bounce. Brian Royal showing plenty of courage and endeavour. No doubt the best Victorian on the ground.
7 minutes gone of this third quarter. 16 points the difference. That's McNeice gets it over that time. The ball driven by Baker across to centre field, and Rioli's got it. Look at him go as he goes for a magnificent pass. And a great great pass from Rioli, over to Rioli, that time and a goal. Great play on the part of Wilson. Magnificent play. Well, he could have easily gone back for a kick, but he backed up beautifully then, Rioli.
Well, really, that was one of the most inspirational pieces of football you'd ever wish to see. First of all, the diving mark by Wilson. Quick as a flash, it comes out to Rioli. Almost run out of petrol, just enough pace left in him to steer that ball through from about 50 metres out.
22 points the difference. And they're looking good again, West Australia. Victoria in plenty of trouble, knocked out by Madden. Miles trying to get clear. It's picked up by Healy, so Victoria have got a chance to go into attack. Out it goes to Alvin. 60 metres out from goal. Oh, a shocking pass looking for Taylor. Taylor's upended. Good play on the part of Lester Smith going through Healy again. Ducked, he goes down, gets it out to Alvin. He's in plenty of trouble. There's 4 against him. Now Waitman. Waitman springs away from the pack. Brilliant play by the little rover. Shot at goal, but he's off target. Oh, it's marked there, right on the line, I think.
The line.
Hit the
Play
post, I think.
Morwood.
Well, that was a little bit unfortunate for Victoria there, really, because Morwood took the mark, but it crossed the line for a point, and
Yes, and well, it was bad. I thought he might have had it.
Waterson kicking towards the outer side for Western Australia. 1-out contest. Is knocked away by Williams. Taken by Brereton. Gets it to Healy. Healy about 40 metres out. Goes Goldwood. Hasn't got the carry. WA have got the numbers down there. Up was Salmon. Socket off the ground by Morwood. What's he done? It's a behind. Bad luck. Quick thinking by Morwood. Ball was on the ground and quickly Morwood arriving on the scene. Assessed the situation.
No doubt about these Swans players, Dennis, is there?
No, none at all. Glendinning comes grandstand side. Back into the air. McNish from behind gets a fist in there. It goes out of bounds. Throw in. Left half forward for Victoria. They trail 8-9 to 12-5. We've played close to 9 minutes in the third term. Madden doing the ruck work and wins it backward of the pack. It's taken though by Baker. Baker the high kick towards centre wing. Up trying to fist away there was Pert. He was up by himself. Socket off the ground. Lucks a fortune. Folds got it to Alvin. Alvin kicks it out wide. Intelligent kick as he finds Brereton about 45 metres from goal. Brereton sees Royal. He played on. No, he didn't according to the umpire. Now he does as he slips behind Lester Smith. Kicks it down towards full forward. WA there in number. And the timely defensive mark is taken by Glendinning. Glendinning feeds it across to Laidley. Laidley comes out of the back pocket, doesn't really look. He's made the job very hard for Phil Narkle. Offhands a chance for Deepia Domenico. Chips it in short, and the mark is taken down there by Morwood for Victoria.
Yes, talk about cool under pressure. The temptation could have been there for a dipper to go for the big shot in toward full forward. But Morwood, as he so often does, drifted across at this half forward line into open space. And a chance to kick a very, very badly needed goal for Victoria.
Tony Morwood has pulled it. Costly miss. Victoria 8-10. Trail Western Australia 12-5.
And we're just on the 10-minute mark of this third quarter. A crucial one for Victoria. Waiting on a short pass coming out that time from Waterson, and a good one. And marked there by Laidley. Laidley down there on the back pocket for West Australia. The kick is back towards the half-back line, punched out by Davison. Oh, Madden scrapped. He had no hope of getting clear, but backing up well as Mullane. Takes it on the boundary line, looking there for Taylor again. Did he get one on the back? The umpire's not taking any notice of that one. Glendinning takes the mark. Short pass, grabbed by Baker. Oh, this will be a 15-metre penalty against Williams, but he stopped him in his tracks. The ball back towards Davison on his own. They're certainly creating the loose man pretty well, West Australia. He's round about the centre half-back position, over the half-forward line. Buckenara knocked out that time by Pert.
Meanwhile, the ball's got to go back. The umpire's insisting on doing his way. He's brought the ball back to invoke the 15-metre penalty, which Davidson will now take.
Well, it's about a 350-metre penalty, that one. So Davidson's right past the centre of the ground, now down towards centre half-forward. Ball coming out there towards that half-forward flag. They both go down that time, Mitchell and Thompson. There we see Waitman having a great battle there with McNish, and the umpire said it'll be a ball up about 35, 40 metres out from the West Australian goal. West Australia 77 points to Victoria 58. They're really in the hot seat. Little Waitman's done a great job as vice-captain here today. Shoots the ball across to centre half forward. Oh, that's the mark by Miles. Oh, how was that for a grab?
Talk about getting up, Miles.
He certainly can jump. Intended for Blackwell, knocked away by Healy, who does well on the ground. Brereton sockers off the ground, down towards half forward for Victoria. He set Salmon a task, who's coming down to meet the ball. Well played, big fellow. Gets it across to Royal. Royal 50 metres out. There's a vacant goal square. Pulls it across to Morwood by hand. Morwood brilliantly onto Taylor. It's fitting that Royal will finish it off. Goal to Victoria. Victoria 9-10. Western Australia 12-5. What a fine piece of cooperative football that was.
Well, really the player that created all was Salmon. There he is, just picking himself up. In fact, he had to get down and get that off ground level, and he had 2 players to beat to do it. He did it, almost came unstuck, but Morwood tapped the ball onto a teammate and finally ended up with Royal. And Royal really is Victoria's best player by quite a mile, and that's his second goal. He's done well.
77-64. Ball back in the centre. Brian Royal's a Bairnsdale boy, isn't he, Lou?
Yes.
Lapping it up
young
there.
Country lad, but he's doing well today.
Oh, marvellous game. Back in the centre. Up goes Madden, opposed to Keane. No one got it out. In goes Williams. A chance now for Healy. It spills wide. It's picked up by Waitman. Waitman threads it across looking for support. Battling hard out there. Victoria going nowhere. Folds in the thick of it. And there's going to be a bounce out on the line of the square.
Waitman's played a great little game too for Victoria.
Yes. They're the 2 players probably that have kept him in this game. All things considered. Carroll early. He's off the ground now with injury. Taken by Keane. Brilliant ruck stuff as he gets it inside 50. The bouncing ball. He'll be first to arrive. Kennedy pushed in the back. That's a soft one.
Very delicate free kick.
Mind you, the umpiring generally has been first class so far in this game. Folds was tripped that time. He'll take the free kick in the right back pocket.
He was lucky to get that foul because he had his back turned on the play when Kennedy hand passed him. But it was a bad hand pass by Kennedy just the same.
Peter Wilson doesn't think a great deal of it either.
No, he didn't like the decision. This is Folds in the back pocket. Really does. High kick. The big fellows go to it. Neither of them wanting to try for the mark there. Keane and or Madden. It fell at their feet, battling in hard. A couple of tyros. Thompson and Blackwell. They like it in there. Another bounce on the outer side. Down towards left half forward for Western Australia. Backward of the pack, a chance for Alvin. He goes to ground, but not before he got it across to Mullane. Mullane by hand to Waitman. Waitman in turn back to Alvin. Tries to crash his way through the pack. He's claimed. Down goes McNish. It's going to be a West Australian free. No play allowed to go on. In fact, the whistle has gone and it will come back.
Well, usually they'll let that go, don't they? Play the advantage. I thought that might have been the case again then, but nope.
I thought he'd let that go with the advantage rule, but he didn't. He penalised West Australia then. Miles driving it across there, punched away from Wilson. There's one right behind the ear that time to Williams. Stunned him completely.
Peter Wilson is not afraid to go in with some vigour, but I think that's a little bit
That was
misapplied.
Wilson. I think he'll be okay, but it certainly stunned him, stopped him right in his tracks.
Pretty tough customer though, Greg Williams, isn't he, Lou?
I think the guy that whacked him once a pretty tough sort of a cookie too, if you ask me. Finally, it goes over to Wayne Harms. Drives the ball long, but there's no one there for Victoria. Shocking bit of play then as it goes out there wide to Lester Smith. Out towards the wing position. A fumble, but it doesn't matter. And they drive the ball over the half-forward line through Baker. And there's Peake, nearly grabbed that one. Danaher playing at full-back now. Peake looking for a free kick. He's already kicked 5 goals. Turned in a performance in that first half that any player would be proud of.
See that a little bit closer. I just wonder whether it might have been not a mark, certainly, but in the back.
That's knocked out by Madden over to Healy, falls short.
Silly thing to say.
And the ball grabbed here by Morwood. He's got a 15-metre penalty. This brings him over the half-back line. Drives it out towards the centre of the ground. Brereton flies. Got under that one. A fumble. Brereton still goes after it. Knocked on by Keane. A fumble by Mullane. Mullane is grabbed that time by Monaco. There's we see DiPierre Domenico over to Morwood. Out wide again to Williams. Always does something with it, this fella. This time it's a long kick. Putting his teammates. Good play by Lester Smith. Went the punch. Kicked off the ground by Raw. But there's Brad Hardy. Oh, got around Brereton beautifully. Left him for dead. And a beautiful pass out there to Davidson. And West Australia get the ball out of the danger zone.
Great kick by Hardy. Davidson chips in short. Baker coming to meet the ball. Showed a lot of courage and commitment there, and he took the mark. Midway between half-back and centre, Leon Baker goes looking for Buckenara. Was he interfered with? No free kick. Wilson tries to hatchet his way through. Succeeded too. His arm was like a machete as he kicks it down towards the pocket. Brilliant mark is taken by Peake.
Three players on Brian Peake in that contest, Dennis, and he outdid them all. That really was the best, I believe, of his marks. High ball coming in. There's Peake. One arm almost retarded. And players coming from everywhere. Brian Peake stood his ground. And this could be a precious kick again for Brian Peake and West Australia.
His kick 5. Magnificent effort. It's just swinging left. I think it's good enough. No, it's a behind. It didn't miss by much, that effort by Brian Peake. Western Australia 12-6, lead Victoria 9-10. We've played 16.5 minutes third term. State of Origin game at Subiaco Oval. And Gary Folds takes a deep breath, a couple of them. will come grandstand side. There goes his kick high. Di Domenico has a height advantage, a decided one over Narkle. Narkle does well to get it down to Keane. Keane, a clever deflection. Got it to Rioli. Rioli 55 metres out, launches it long towards full forward. Satori is down there for Western Australia. Fisted away by Kennedy, roving the pack. Buckenara, nowhere to go. And finding the safety of the boundary line was Folds. Will have a boundary throw in right full forward.
Western Australia 12 goals, 6 to Victoria 9-10. Well, out of bounds on the 25-metre mark in their attacking zone. There we see Madden trying to get it out, falls on top of the ball, and the umpire will ball it up in the same position just about. Well, the crowd are certainly getting a treat as far as the football's concerned today, and they just love every moment that Peake goes near the ball. They just really come up in one big voice, don't they?
Certainly do.
Here we go again. Knocked out that time by Madden. Rioli's kick is smothered by Thompson. Bit of a fumble going on. Thompson gets the ball out now. Pert goes for a hand pass, but put Healy under pressure. Back to Di Domenico. They're messing about. Well picked up by Narkle. Out it comes to Buckenara. The boundary line was too close, and it's out of bounds. About 30 metres around from the West Australian goal. They're in front by 14 points. Ball back into play again. Picked up here now by Wayne Harms. Gets around his opponents nicely. He's gone for a kick. But it's a shocker. Oh, it's okay. It dropped a bit short. The ball marked here by Waitman. Been a fine play today, Waitman. Half forward. Oh, chance for Morwood to get clear. 50 metres out. A hand pass coming over to Royal. Oh, he copped a heavy bump from Miles, but rode that beautifully as he fires it up towards the goals. Alvin's got a chance here.
Whoa.
He's got it. That was a gutsy mark. You can hear him coming. The stampede at the back of you there. And you've got to stand your ground. And he did that. That was a great mark.
I'll tell you what, Brereton was a bit belated going for this mark. Watch this again. Brereton comes over the top, and I don't think he's much concerned about the ball. Down goes Glendinning, and Brereton, I think, was after Glendinning with intent there. Following it through, he landed on him with a knee drop in that forward pocket. But Albin's got the ball, and that's the only thing concerning both sides at the moment. Albin, left full forward pocket. He's normally a defender, but he shows he can kick goals. 90 minutes gone, and it's 12-6. To 10-10. Victoria creep closer.
Pretty courageous mark there by Elvin.
Certainly was.
Glendinning didn't really have quite enough pace, or whether he misjudged it, I'm not too sure. Lou, I thought Glendinning hung back a little bit before he launched himself into the spoil, and by that time it was all over, and Elvin had taken the mark, and a very, very good conversion from a fairly awkward angle.
Eight points the difference. Western Australia leading. There's the bounce. One down by Madden behind McNish. Coming through the pack, Rioli. In the opposite direction, Kennedy. The hand pass through the pack, not a particularly good one. Bounces obligingly there for Baker. Baker ferrets a hand pass across to Lester Smith. He wants some room, gets it to. Kicks across towards Di Domenico, however. And as we said at the outset, he's too tall, and given that back spot, he can simply take Narkle under the ball and mark over him. So he's got the ball inside the centre square, told to play on. Indifferent sort of a kick as it goes towards the outer side, and a brilliant mark is paid to Baker. Well, maybe he just held it long enough as Royal was body to body with him.
Yes, it was over the shoulder according to the umpire. That was what it was for.
Friendly. Kick comes grandstand side from Baker. Mark is taken by Harding. Harding sends it out wide towards right half forward into the path of Pert. Coming up to meet him is Rioli. Pert runs it out of bounds. And he made it look pretty good. I think he intended from the start to take it out, but we'll have a boundary throw in. What about the 50-metre line? 12-6 Western Australia. Victoria 10-10, just over 20 minutes played. Third term, Rucks go to it. Keane uses his strength. What strength he's got? And he's got more than you think. Ball spills wide of the pack, however, taken by Di Domenico. Harding is in there, fisted away by Williams. Narkle knocks it on, only as far as Di Domenico. He's having an influence in this term, but not with kicking like that. It comes directly to Lester Smith. Time to settle. Drives it back towards centre half forward. Wilson in front. Strong mark taken by the running player from East Fremantle. Sends it out wide. He sets Baker a task. He's confronted by Mullane. Picked up now by Hardy. Hardy goes in short, taken by Mitchell. Mitchell gives it to Davidson. He's in real trouble as Peter Davidson gets it back somehow to Mitchell. Mitchell 30 metres out has snapped the goal. What a snap. Michael Mitchell gets WA's 13. WA 13-6. Victoria 10-10.
Well, that's the brilliance of this player, that he can produce from time to time. And here's a snap coming up. No time at all to have a look at the goals. He didn't need it. He threaded through a magnificent goal for West Australia.
And missed that time by Harms. It went off the side of his boot. We see a great Wilson showing a lot of strength. There's the little fella again. Mitchell had kicked that last goal. Gets a hand pass out to Harding. Picked up here by Barstow. He can't get clear. Now's a chance for Narkle. Running at the 50-metre mark. Goes for a pass. It'll be okay.
Brilliant.
McNish has got it. He plays on. It'll be another goal. Brilliant play on the part of West Australia. And they're looking really good now. 10 goals, 10-70 Victoria to West Australia. 14-6-90. And this West Australian crowd going mad.
Well, that's a lot of confusion there. Finally, Bairstow couldn't do much with, but Narkle can. First grab, confidence enough to have the bounce, a quick look across where a beautiful lead was made by McNish in the centre of the ground in front of the goals, and he not only took the mark 20 metres out and played on. Maybe it would have been better to have the shot. Doesn't matter, does it?
Nope. 20 points the difference, just on the 24-metre mark, and they go back into attack again. West Australia through Wilson, up there towards the full forward position. Pete got one from Danaher. The umpire said play on. Danaher got one that time down there from McNish. The ball out wide as they go now for Mullane. But he's grabbed. Oh, great tackle by Mitchell. Victoria looking slow as we see Thompson take the ball back towards the centre of the ground. Big Madden's got it. He doesn't know where to go. He hesitates. And finally it's over to Pert. Pert in a bit of trouble too. They're not going directly enough, Victoria, and that's a bad pass and a great mark taken down there by Lester Smith. They're actually ratting at the moment, Victoria.
Sure are, but Lester Smith having a very big third quarter.
That's right.
Magnificent, in fact.
Lester Smith down towards half back for Western Australia. Sends play to the grandstand side wing. DiPiero Domenico goes back. Didn't really want it. It's out of bounds. We'll have a boundary throw in.
No matter how big you are.
I think he wanted it. I think he lost sight of it, I think.
I think you call it quits at that, shall we?
I don't think you'd ever say that about Bertie, Eric.
I didn't. It was Dennis.
Boundary throw in. And it's going to be a Western Australian free kick. It'll be taken by Keane. Keane. Forward of centre wing. Hurt himself as he kicked that ball down towards the pocket. It's bouncing awkwardly for Danaher. It was almost a goal. Nobody touched that, did they?
I don't think so. It would have been one of the most remarkable goals of all time. He kicked it from 80 metres out and it never got over about a metre off the ground.
That would take some practice in.
I dare say.
Danaher.
Mind you, I wasn't bad at that myself.
Western Australia 14-7, Victoria 10-10 as Danaher goes to the outer side. Off hands a chance for Mullane out there. Mullane, high kick back towards centre wing. Leading back, Laidley takes a very good running mark. He was going at full tilt there. Comes across the ground. Nest of West Australians. The mark is taken by Hardy. And some of the work off the ball by the West Australians outstanding as Hardy kicks it across the centre circle, favouring the right centre wing for Western Australia. Big Laurie's got a job to do now. Tries to palm off Royal, couldn't succeed. Then from the sitting position, gets it across to support. Unfortunately, Lester Smith couldn't control it. Coming through is Waitman. He chips it to DiPiero Domenico. DiPiero Domenico lays the ball into the path of Williams. Someone has to come and meet him. Jennings, that someone. Hardy will get back. Tackles in, but not before the hand pass comes to Royal, and Royal pops through another goal for Victoria, his third.
Brad Hardy having a bit of a dispute there with Greg Williams. It shouldn't come to too much. The goal stands. That's all that matters. And Victoria, every time, again, Dennis Laurie Keane being taken from the ground. I really can't understand that. Okay, made a bit of a mistake down here in front of the members stand, grandstand here, but he really has been a superb player for West Australia. But from that mistake, Victoria always had the numbers and finally ended up with Royal's third goal. And incidentally, that was Royal's 18th kick. A superb performance from the big Footscray Rover. There it is. Pops it through from 25 metres out, and Victoria stay within touch.
Centre bounce again. Victoria bouncing back, but is it enough? A hand pass from Williams coming over to Waitman. Short pass looking for Taylor, it's too long. Glenn Denning going there with him. It bounces okay, then he lost it. Ball kicked off the ground by Waterson out towards the wing position. Coming out to meet it is Laidley and Mullane. Picked up again by Narkle, but it's forced out of bounds by Brereton. It's about, let me see, about 75 metres around from the Victorian goal. They're trailing by 15 points. 76 plays 91. Into this quarter by about 27 minutes. As they go, Lester Smith played a superb third quarter as the ball goes back there towards Mitchell. He missed that, and so did DiPiero Domenico. He cashed in on the mistake, the little fellow, and a magnificent hand pass coming over now to Wilson at centre half forward. Look at him crash through this guy like a rugby player, and look at the kick. Oh, is it a goal? No, it's a point. That was a magnificent bit of play on the part of Wilson that time. Isn't he a strong player, this guy?
Yes, he's been rather inspirational himself, and I think Pete confused the goal line there. He could have been tempted to take the mark.
Wilson again. Now he's called play, and I reckon that was just about a mark. The crowd thinking the same too, but the umpire said, go on, fellas, play on. A hand pass coming out to Healy. He's out there on the centre wing position. Drives the ball over the Victorian half-forward line. Ground and flies. It's punched out. Di Pierdomenico scoops it in nicely. There's a chance now for Royal to mark again. He's got it. And Royal would be about 35 metres out from goal directly in front. No doubt Victoria's best player. Decides to have a little chop. He was hurried, but he's got it through for a goal. So the Vics are coming back again. 14 goals, 8.92. West Australia, Victoria 12-10-82, a difference of 10 points, and that's Royal's 4th goal.
Also his 18th kick, Lou, and he really has been quite superb. But that was one of the cases where Brad Hardy, as we all know, is a very attacking back pocket player, was sucked into the play. Royal simply dropped back behind him, and from that point on it was very, very much trouble for Western Australia. Royal doesn't miss too many of those.
Study of teammates there, Brian Royal and Brad Hardy. From out Western Oval way, bounce down back in the centre, 14-8, 12-10 as you heard. Chance now for Baker to go through the pack. Some heavy body work done around him. Di Pierdomenico emerges with the ball, but the umpire Castle, wants to bounce it down. Approaching three-quarter time, 28.5 minutes gone. Salmon opposed to Harding. One backward of the pack brilliantly by Harding, taken by Rioli. Hurried kick towards half forward. Wilson over the top of his marker down there, Folds. Reading it off hands. A chance for Thompson, almost holding the ball. He's penalised. The advantage is paid now. Away comes Rioli, runs about 30 metres, kicks towards full forward. I think he's missed. Well, errors by all and sundry there, perhaps including the umpire.
Well, Rioli really had it. He couldn't make up his mind whether to have a long shot or go for a short pass. In the end, he went for the kick, but I think he'd lost his confidence at that stage.
Danaher looking to find views on the kick in. That's ambitious, and Wilson read it brilliantly, coming across to take the mark. Well, if you have to kick to a rover, you've got problems coming out of goal. There weren't too many options. Salmon just hanging around about 40 metres out from goal, directly in front. That wasn't one of the options. Peake on a lead, pushed in the back. He'll take a free kick. Danaher can't believe it.
Dennis, now Peake is only going to be kicking from 30-35 metres out as the brawl has erupted down in the forward pocket. Time is very close to, in fact, they've been playing for about 31 minutes. Now, if Peake could steer this one through, it would certainly give West Australia a very, very handy lead of 17 points just before three-quarter time.
15 metres against Victoria. Pert and Buckenara got tangled.
Well, he's moved back about 4 metres.
And the runners come out to talk to the umpire now. It's the West Australian umpire, David Johnson. And the Vic runner was out to him. He's gone back to talk with Kevin Sheedy, but he was sent hurriedly on his way. And now Brian Peake, a chance to kick yet another. His 6th goal, if it swings back sufficiently, that's close. It's a goal. Western Australia through Peake's 6, move to 15. They're 15-9. They lead Victoria 12-10, and the stage is set for a thrilling finish because bear in mind Victoria will finish with the breeze.
Although the wind is not a strong one, Dennis, and I think also that, in fact, looking at the scores, Victoria kicked 4 against it in the first quarter, West Australia 5 against it in the second quarter, and now Victoria's also added further 5 in the third, so it's not a big breeze, is it?
Kevin Sheedy looking very worried, and so he should be, because they're in plenty of trouble. They're down by 17 points at the 31.5-minute mark. Buckenara goes in. He's upended by Pert. Picked up now by Healy. Healy goes for a long kick over the half-forward line. Oh, there's a great mark to Hardy. He's got to pay that.
Timely mark too, Lou. Three-quarter time is almost with us, and he really must hang on.
Soren due to go for the end of the third quarter. The ball back. It's a long kick by Hardy again over the centre field area, but they all got under that one. Ball pushed on again, that time by the big fella Satori. Couldn't get clear, goes after it again. There's a stack up here, but the umpire's calling play on. McNish gets it out now up towards Peake. Peake flies, gets under that one. It's a go for Buckenara, but kicked off the ground. He's put it out of bounds on the full Pert, and that'll be a penalty free kick to go to Buckenara right on the boundary line. Only about 5 or 6 metres around from the Perth goal.
Oh, Mitchell is calling for it.
He decides to run on and have a snapshot. What's he done with that one? We'll wait on the result. That's the point. Well, he could have passed to Mitchell.
He was pleading for the ball there, right in front, 15 metres out, and Buckenara, I suppose, in fairness, had to go back over the mark and take the kick, though, and time wasn't with him.
18 points the difference. Ball drops short. This is dangerous. Oh, that was a good save that time by Morwood. Buckenara right on the boundary line. Hooks it back over his shoulder, looking for Peake. But there's the siren to win the third quarter. And West Australia looking in a good position, 15-10-100. The Victoria, 12 goals, 10-80.
Game is up for grabs, make no mistake about that. And so is the title. Harding wins it out. Chance for Waitman, coming to meet the ball. Deep here, Domenico strong arms his way through. High kick towards half forward. Brereton from behind. Juggled attempt at the mark. It came off the hands of the man in front, Lester Smith first. And the umpire decides he wants to ball it up.
I thought that could have been a free kick against Di Domenico then.
Well, he brushed him off nicely, didn't he?
Straight arm. Yes, it was.
There's the bounce. One down by Madden, taken by Williams, feeds it out to Mullane. Mullane, who's been a quiet player, goes in short and finds Morwood on the 50-metre line. Now, he has the breeze behind him. It's a swirling breeze at this end of Subiaco Oval because of the configuration of the stands. But a goal here is not out of the question. This is the ideal spot to shoot from. Morwood. Long kick, and now the breeze will pick it up and push it through, but the accuracy wasn't there. So behind a Victoria, they start the scoring in this final term, 12-11 to 15-10. Ross Glendinning, indecisive. Miles perhaps offers the best lead. Glendinning sees that now and goes out towards Miles. Di Domenico read it well. He came down to cut it out. Miles leads back in the race, though, tries to knock it onto the advantage of Narkle. Narkle lacks support out there. He's surrounded by Victorians, but he's getting a free kick.
For holding the man.
Talk about soft free kicks. I thought that was one of them.
Phil Narkle on the outer side, as you can see, a player who's at the highest honour here in Western Australia. Kick goes around the outer side, off hands a chance for Waitman. Waitman can't control the ball. Now he's in trouble. Claimed by Blackwell. That's holding the ball. Good decision.
Yes.
Good decision that time by the umpire. So it's Blackwell driving it over the half-forward line. Oh, knocked out by Danaher. Picked up that time by Satori. Back it goes to Peake, over to Rioli. Back it goes. It was a good hand pass. Soccer's tactics that time to Satori from Peake. Back to Blackwell. Hooks the ball back towards the full forward position.
He's got a relay free kick.
It'll be a free kick downfield. He was knocked out. He kicked it that time.
Well, that's a crucial mistake, I think, by the Victoria.
Bad mistake, the Victoria. This gives...
McEnara will be taking the kick, and I don't think you could wish for anybody safer.
And it's pretty close in. It's only about 25 metres out. Probably about 30 metres by the time he kicks the ball, but they're in front now by 17 points. And they're kicking against the breeze. This will be a vital goal for West Australia. This will give them a lot of confidence. There it is, a goal. And that's a bad start for Victoria. 3 goals to Buckenara. And started off quietly. Of course, Victoria have lost Carroll. A sad blow to the Swans up there in Sydney. I know that because he's had a great season, but Victoria really in the hot seat at the moment.
We didn't quite catch the tail end of that infringement against the West Australian player, Blackwell.
He was knocked after he'd kicked the ball.
Well, that's a bad mistake.
Centre bounce again. Ball pushed out now to Williams. He actually threw that one, didn't he? But it went to Healy. Back it goes to Alvin. A chance for Victoria to go into attack. Over there half forward on Taylor. Got one on the back. The umpire spotted that. Now, Taylor would be about 40 metres out from goal, and if Victoria ever need a goal, this is it. Into this quarter now by just on 4 minutes, and Victoria trailing 83 to 106. That's a 23-point deficit. So it's up to Taylor now. He's already kicked 3 goals. It's a vital kick for the Victorian full forward. He'll be kicking from about 40 metres out. The angle not very acute at all. But the crowd trying to blow it away from the goals, but that's a beautiful kick and a goal.
Yeah, it's a good goal there by Brian Taylor. He's had to wait a while to get his 4th goal, but he didn't look like missing it. Certainly took his time about it, and well, he might. It was a very, very important kick from the Victorian point of view. And well, the quick reply there, that goal from Buckenara was only a minute and a half ago, so Victoria really haven't dwelt on replying, and still this game is very much up for grabs. 17-point margin, still a comfortable one for West Australia though.
Justin Madden. Now the bounce to come from umpire Castle. 106 to 89. Harding comes in for Western Australia. One out by Madden, taken by Mullane. The hand pass not a particularly good one. It's picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell inside the centre square, fires it long towards half forward. Satori brilliantly works his way to the front.
Yes, he's the last cab off the rank there, wasn't he?
Takes the strong mark, feeds it to Rioli into the path of Peake. Knocked away by Danaher. The 2 captains there. Danaher comes away with it, drives it along the grandstand wing. Good kick, finds Healy. Runners inside. What will Healy do? Draws a man, pops it over the top. Taken by Morwood. Waitman inside him. That's the direction the hand pass takes. Waitman, 1 bounce. Measures it now. 50 metres out. There goes the kick. Straight through the middle. Goal Victoria. They're 14th, 14-11. Western Australia 16-10.
Well, that was a brilliant passage of play by Victoria from the moment that Danaher knocked that ball away from Peake. I must confess I thought Peake was in position to mark it. He didn't. And Danaher recovered best. And from the moment he got possession, onto Healy. And then no trouble at all for Morwood to pop it over to Wakeman, who was the man that kicked the goal. And he, as we said before, with Royal have formed a very, very formidable pair of rovers for Victoria.
Dale Wakeman. Madden opposed to Harding. One down by Madden, taken by Baker. High up and under. Fisted forward by Davidson. Well, in the wrong direction, but Davidson got his hand in there. Rioli's kick goes down towards half forward. Thompson in the way, surrounded by West Australians. Well played, Thompson. Knocks it out of the pack, showing a lot of courage was Morwood. Mullane goes in. He's grabbed by a couple of West Australians. They tie it up. There'll be a bounce out towards left centre wing for Western Australia, who lead it 16-10 to 14-11. 6 minutes gone, final term.
11 points, the difference between these two sides in favour of West Australia. Knocked out by Madden. Bad bounce. This allows Victoria to go further forward through Royal. Played a great game and a beautiful pass. And Brereton's got it about 30 metres out from goal. So the Vic's really bouncing back.
Most unfortunate bounce there. Dean Lately did the right thing, and the ball
went the wrong way.
Just went not much you can do about that, Lou.
Certainly not, Eric. We're waiting now on Brereton to kick this goal to make the difference 5 points and give Victoria a real chance, because they're coming home with a pretty strong breeze. I think they call it the Fremantle Doctor, don't they?
The kick coming from the other way, mate.
It's coming the other way tonight, is it? I don't know much about it.
Melbourne Doctor.
It's the, what is it? The
Melbourne Doctor.
Okay.
Did lose us the America's Cup, Lou.
Okay, the difference there, only 5 points, 106 in favour of Western Australia. They were 106 to Victoria, 101. And we're about 7 minutes into this last quarter. So Victoria have got a chance to hit the front. Centre bounce again. 5 points the difference. Madden knocks the ball out. Not a good one. A fumble that time. It comes back to Williams. He's got it. Can't get out. He finally gets it out to DP Domenico. A long kick over the half-forward line. Browner. Oh. Well, this fella, as I said before, once he lets himself go, he can win a game within 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, he's done nothing for 2 quarters, but he's already kicked the goal at the beginning of the last, and from 45 metres out dead in front, he could put Victoria in front for the first time since the early moments of the game.
That was a marvellous mark, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Brereton steers through another one. That's his third, and Victoria lead it 16-11 to 16-10. We've played 7.5 minutes in this final quarter.
Well, it's almost too sudden to comprehend. It was only, 5 minutes ago, West Australia were 4 goals in front. And good body use on that occasion by Brereton, who now has Lester Smith as an opponent. And through goes his third, as Dennis said, and Victoria in front. Well, a long way to go, but Victoria certainly has got the run on at the moment. Keane back on the ground for West Australia.
Yes, Harding is off. And now the test decidedly with Western Australia. They trail by a point up against the breeze, but the crowd is behind them as Miles kicks towards half forward for the West. Leading back is Pert. He hasn't had a good day. Left the ball behind. Satori soccers it away into open space. Coming to meet the ball is Baker. Baker chips in short. Looking for Buckenara. Knocked away by Pert. Well played, and Pert goes again and crashes the ball out of bounds. On the full, that's bad luck. Kick to be taken by Buckenara out there. Gary Buckenara. Midway between right centre wing and right half forward. Not much on offer, going for distance. Some tired players out on this ground now. Big pack into the air, off hands, a chance for Victoria to bring it away. Kennedy trying to crash his way through. It's scrambled out of defence eventually around the outer side by Folds, and the mark is taken by this man Waitman. He's away, gets it across towards DP Domenico. Down goes Waitman. He was pushed in the back. He'll take a free kick.
Lucky to get away with that, Dale Waitman.
Yes, Waitman on the outer side wing. Chips it in short, looking for Williams. Hardy read it brilliantly and drifts across to take the defensive mark. WA desperately require the next goal. And Williams anxious to hang on to the ball. 15 metres against him.
Another 15.
He likes to give away that professional free kick occasionally, 15 metres, doesn't he? Williams, there goes the kick towards the outer side. And the mark is taken cleverly out there by Wilson, who now is confronted with a situation where he can run. Swings it back across his body. Finds Narkle. That was intelligent football. Narkle spears it down towards the pocket. Buckenara. And Buckenara is marked within scoring range, but the breeze will be coming across his body.
I just wonder whether Narkle, who could have gone on and had a shot for goal, is within the 50-metre circle on the full run. He's now presented Buckenara with a very, very awkward angle to shoot at.
Victoria in front by a point as Buckenara comes in for the kick. Oh, that's a magnificent goal, a real pressured goal. And they're back in front, and listen to the crowd go wild here with Subiaco.
And that's Buckenara's 15th kick and 4th goal, Lou, and probably the best of his 4 goals. A brilliant run, in fact, from deep out on the forward pocket. And some very, very strong play again by Peter Wilson. Lou, you've picked him up in the third quarter as being a very strong player.
Certainly is.
He showed his strength then, got himself in a bit of trouble, but got out of it just as well.
5 points the difference. West Australia back in front again. We're just over the 10-minute mark. There's an infringement, a free kick. It'll go to West Australia. So it'll be the big fella Keane, who's done a great job here today. Short pass. Is it dangerous? Yes, a bad one. This allowed Harms to get through, and a long kick back there over the half-forward line. Punched away by Waitman. Nearly grabbed the mark as he went after it again. They pile on top of him. There's three. They're not letting him get away. And the umpire will ball it up around about the 50-metre mark.
I hate to be critical of Keane, Lou, but that was quite a foolish kick, wasn't it?
Certainly was. Salmon against Keane. Knocked out by Keane. Grabbed that time by Davison, over to Wilson, went between his legs. That gave Mullane a break, and a hand pass coming out to Royal, straightens up, and another goal to Victoria, and Victoria back in front again.
Well, that's his fourth goal too. Dale Waitman, fifth, make it 5.
5 goals to Royal. He's played a superb game here today. A good hand pass by Mullane.
Well, that's the third time the lead has changed hands in the last 3 or 4 minutes, so I suppose from a WA point of view, you'd hope it's at least once more.
Just on the 12-minute mark, and Victoria back in front by a point. They've got a long way to go before they win the championship. Knocked out by Madden. As they go now, fresh air shot that time by Wilson. He's played a pretty good game. He sunk the slipper in then too as Rioli comes out with the ball. Beautiful play by Rioli. Hooks it back to centre half forward. And that'll have to be a mark to Mitchell. He played it.
Don't believe it.
Unbelievable. Listen to the crowd going mad. It's Harms getting it back. And a mark taken here by Morwood.
Well, he'd have to be absolutely blind.
I thought that was a mark.
Absolutely ridiculous. The worst decision of the day.
Morwood's got the ball, chips it out wide. Williams inside range now. He'd only be about 45 metres from goal. So Williams with a chance to kick one here for Victoria.
We'll see how quickly it can change. Now, this is the mark from Rioli, or the kick from Rioli, which Mitchell clearly marked. Make no mistake about that. And there it is. Well, if that's not a mark, I'm not sitting here.
That's unbelievable, that decision.
Greg Williams. A chance to stretch Victoria's lead. Long kick off target. So they lead by just 2 points now, 17-12 to 17-10.
That's all it needs, Dennis, in a tight situation like that. A bit of luck or a bad umpiring decision or something, and that certainly was a bad umpiring decision.
Approaching 13 minutes in the final term. Kick from Waterson to the outer side. No mark was taken out there. Madden leads back in the race. Goes between his legs, does the ball. Rioli just stole it from him. Rioli comes away, chips it in short, looking for Davidson. Can that turn things around? Davidson with runners outside, gets it over the top to Glendinning. Inside him is Narkle. Western Australia running at the Victorian defence now as Narkle storms down Subiaco Oval. Settles 50 metres out, spears the ball into the opposite pocket. Why, I don't know. McNish leads in the race. He's confronted there by Folds. He gets around him, tries to get it back, but Danaher blankets the hand pass. Comes off the heel of Danaher. Knocked out by Peake, back towards McNish. Folds falls on him and will have a bounce. But why did Narkle go there?
Well, almost identical, Dennis, to the other occasion 5 minutes ago when he's well inside the 15-metre circle at full head of steam, well within kicking range. I can't understand that either.
Victoria lead by 2 points as Satori pulls it backward at the pack. Thompson gets it to Folds. The high kick, grandstand side. 1-out contest. Morwood outmarked by Davidson. Superb mark by the West Australian winger. No leads on, needs to go for distance. Lead comes now from Satori. What can he do? Launches himself into a pack, but it's going to be a Victorian free kick. Man in front will take it. That's Healy.
Well, the crowd going mad, but it's a West Australian umpire that gave the decision.
Healy along the grandstand side. The leaper was Miles Brereton, the better judgment. Over the top to Waitman. Trouble for Western Australia. Waitman settles 40 metres out, stabs goalward. Goal umpire does not move.
Okay, so now that means that not only has Victoria got the lead by, 8 points, 10 points? 8 points. They've also got some chance, I believe, Dennis, with time coming up to the 14.5-minute mark of the quarter. They need another couple of goals break on WA. Not to say that West Australia, of course, can't come back and win.
Centre bounce again, just on the 15-minute mark. Victoria in front. They're in front by 8 points. Centre bounce. It'll be going for the knockout. Keane against big Madden. Madden got that one down. Healy couldn't get clear. He was well grabbed that time by Blackwell, and the umpire will board it up at centre field. Victoria in front by 8 points. They've certainly played a lot better this quarter and putting the pressure really on West Australia. Ball pushed out by Keane. There's nearly a free kick going to Roar, but the umpire didn't spot that Alvin fumble that it was out to Davidson. Going after it is Blackwell. He's upended, picked up while Blackwell's got it again, but they pounce off. Good hand pass by Williams over to Royal. Back to Williams again. Another beauty coming up there to DiPierdomenico. Over there to Morwood. Morwood goes for a pass out wide looking for Taylor. It's got a bounce right, it does, but he fumbles. Taps it on now to Waitman. Waitman running to an open goal. Fires. And it's a point. He was off target that time. So they're looking a lot better now. Victoria really putting the pressure on WA.
Brilliant breakaway, Lou, on that occasion.
Good play on the part of Taylor too, wasn't it?
Was. I thought that Waitman should have really converted that, and that would have made things pretty interesting. 9
points the difference. Victoria have got to win by at least 35 points, I would say, as the ball goes out there down to Alvin. We got one a bit high. Comes back now to Healy. They bounce on top of him. Tries to get the ball out. Ball pushed on by Lamb, but he was grabbed or got one in the back. And Lamb will take the free kick at half back. Into this quarter by just on 17 minutes. 17-10, 112 Western Australia to Victoria, 18-13, 121.
Williams takes a great mark. He read it well. Lamb going for the short one. Williams drifting across in front to take the mark. He goes looking for Waitman. Hardy over the top, close to the boundary line. He's content to put it out. Time, no problem. Just 16.5 minutes gone. WA have got to play the percentages at the moment. It's interesting how WA looks so fast, so much more speed for the first 2.5 quarters, but in these latter stages, it's Victoria who look pacier. It's one down by Keane. Brereton with a chance now, confronted by Miles. Scrambles a kick down towards the pocket. One out contest, and strength wins the day as Taylor gets rid of Glendinning and on his knees takes the mark behind his marker.
Well, he's lost sight of where the goals are if he thinks he's going to shoot from there.
Yes, he has to come around a little, doesn't he? There's the mark.
Glendinning really hasn't had a very happy day, has he?
No, he hasn't played well. He's had a bad season, Eric.
So Taylor
still, he's been a great player.
No question. Taylor coming right around now. The right behind him. Brian Taylor with Victoria leading by 9 points. It's kick 4. And I think he may have just missed to the near side. He has. So behind, a lucky reprieve for Western Australia. Victoria 18-14, Western Australia 17-10, 17.5 minutes gone, final term. It's a grey day in the city now. I suppose that matches the feeling of the supporters as this game is slipping away from Western Australia. Over the fence goes Lester Smith. He got his fingertips to that right on the boundary line, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
It's about 50 metres around from the Victorian goal. They're in front by 10 points, but they've got to get a few more goals to win the championship. Knocked out by Keane. He's done a marvellous job on the ruck, that big fellow, and he's pushed it around further. Around about 70 metres around from the Victorian goal. They put up a very good last quarter. The Vics looking much stronger and running away at this particular stage. Keane again, got the knockdown, picked up by Healy. He's in trouble, shrugged them up beautifully that time. That's strength. Up it goes to the full forward position. There's a chance now for Waterson. Takes an easy mark. Grabs that there at full back, goes wide. DiPierdomenico and Davidson, they clash. That'll be against the umpire paying the advantage. Wills, we see Narkle streak away from his opponent. Over it goes now to McNish. Back to Narkle again. Over to Buckenara. Out there at half forward. A long shot. Peake's got the sit here. Kennedy coming at the back. The ball's pushed down. Peake again. A step and goal. He's got it through. A great bit of play on the part of Peake. That's goal number 7 to Peake. What a performance this guy's put up here today. A great performance by the West Australian champ. And that was magnificent play.
And what a beautiful kick into though by Buckenara. Up goes Peake. The ball hits the deck. Again, his strength. And well shepherded there to a part 2 by Rioli. And that allowed Peake to get his left foot to the ball. And still this game is alive. I suppose we're looking at 2 things here. West Australia winning and the championship.
That's right.
My mind goes back to Gary Ablett's virtuoso performance on this ground last season. Today it's Brian Peake. Both Geelong players. Of course, Peake, a former Geelong player. Back in the centre, the Rucks go to it again. The game is still up for grabs. Trying to crash his way through was Williams, but a dexterous hand pass came out from Blackwell. Narkle gives it across to the run of Mitchell. Whoops, Mitchell left it behind. DiPierdomenico crashes into the legs of Mitchell. Mitchell, the presence of mind to get a hand pass to Narkle. Narkle goes very short. Needed some distance. Rioli couldn't control it. Emerging with the ball is a tired Healy. Healy swings it down towards half forward. Up was Brereton, and he takes a spectacular mark.
Oh, that short game is killing Western Australia down there.
Alvin from the hand pass. Hardy comes out to meet the ball, gathers it superbly on the half volley. Down goes Madden, an aggressive shepherd from Miles. Ball on the outer side. The mark has been taken by Lamb. Lamb kicking towards centre wing. It bounces out of bounds. We'll have a throw in on the outer side. Madden is down, and he copped an absolute perler from Miles, who picked him off as he had eyes only for the man who had the ball. Throw in on the outer side. Salmon battling with Keane. Clean possession to the West Australian giant. He's getting a free kick taken high.
Played a great game, this big fellow. Oh, Victorian player hurt. I think it's Madden. Looks like coming off the ground. There's the kick. 4 points the difference. West Australia still in this game. Peak at the back again. He's already kicked 7 goals. Playing the game of his life, this fellow. He's really shown the Victorians what he's made of. The pack fly. Oh, how about that? McNeice. Oh, how about that for a screamer? What a ripper. They're the sort of marks that win matches for you.
40,000 people, Lou, and I reckon everybody jumped out of their seats with that
Certainly
one.
have. And great play on the part of those 2 West Australians. A magnificent mark from Peake, and then that magnificent mark again from McNeice. Well, he's only about 25, 30 metres out. He fires. That deserves a goal, but he's missed it. It certainly deserved better than that. Victoria can thank their lucky stars over that bad kick.
Mitchell is off, Lou, and Madden is coming off.
Well, Madden got a nasty knock there. I think it was in that shepherd on that other side of the ground there, Dennis.
I'd like to see that mark again if we get a chance to. What a superb mark it was.
3 points the difference. The ball back towards the centre of the ground. There's a good mark to Mullane at centre half back. Goes for a hand pass. It'll be okay. Pertz grabbed it out there. Boots the ball long to centre half forward. Brereton in front. Ball punched away by Miles. Picked up by Healy. Breaks clear. Goes for a pass. Looking there. But it's a bad one. Grabbed by Lester Smith. So the West Australians take the ball away from the danger zone. There's plenty of them out there as Hardy walked. Beautifully got away from Taylor. Left him for dead. Over it goes now to Nark. This little fella's played a great little game too as the ball goes out wide. A chance for Wilson. He's got it. He'll go for a hand pass. Back it goes to Buckenara. Always dangered. Over to Rioli. They got a chance to score a short pass and a mark. It'll be a mark there to Baker. And the crowd are really jumping here at Subiaco. No doubt about that. What a game we've seen.
Well, Lou, when you see football of this calibre, no one of these State of Origin games have really captured the States by storm. This has been quite spectacular on the level of the others that have been preceding it over the years.
3 points the difference, and West Australia have hit the button. Don't you know it here at Subiaco? Listen to them roar. Let's see if the Vicks can bounce back.
Well, it's been topsy-turvy. First one side and then the other. I thought West Australia not only, as there's a good mark from Wilson, uses his body beautifully, gets a hand pass away. And this is where they get into a bit of a muddle, West Australia. Buckenara shoots one out to Rioli. Then the short kick. This will be the mark taken by Baker and the conversion. But first of all, West Australia looked as though they had it wrapped up. Then Victoria likewise. Well, I wouldn't say West Australia's got it wrapped up, not by a long stretch of the imagination, but at least they're back in front.
23.5 minutes gone. Final term. Western Australia lead by 3 points. What a showcase for Australian rules football. It's one down by Keane, taken by Buckenara. Gets it across to Miles. Miles deflects it out wide. It's a foot race now. Leading in the race is Davidson, who was tripped. Umpire Castle adjudicates it's a free kick to the West Australian on centre wing. Give the umpires their due. They've made a few mistakes today, but my word, the umpiring has been excellent too.
You could say this stadium's alive, couldn't you?
It's buzzing, isn't it? There goes the kick from Davidson. Spectacular mark is taken by Danaher. He's at right half back. Terry Danaher, the Victorian skipper. The breeze has fallen away a little. Danaher, the long kick, grandstand side. Brereton, strong mark. He was going, not according to the umpire. Lester Smith is brought back on the mark. Brereton fires it down towards the pocket. Taylor's the target. Fisted away Glendinning. It's out of bounds. And he gathered himself for that leap, Glendinning. Every ounce of energy he had to get up there and fist it away from Taylor.
We're right on the 25-minute mark. Ball out of bounds. About 40 metres around for the Victorian goal. Knocked out by Taylor. He grabs it on the rebound. Hooks it back to the goal square. There's a chance for Victoria. Now Albin's there, but they go defensive. Knocked out by Waterson. Narkle and DP Domenico. DP Domenico tries to crash his way through. That's Sebasto trying to get out. After Narkle again. There's a stack-up up there. The umpire playing a free kick to Victoria.
Fairly red hot.
Well, he put his body in, didn't he?
Well, it's the West Australian umpire paying the free kick too. The West Australians can't growl about that, but he's got a free kick. Oh, he got him round the neck.
Well, that wasn't the kick, though, was it?
No, I don't know. Well, he's got the... No, that's late. That's an earlier one. Dale Waitman, the crowd trying to blow the ball away from the goals. And he's put it through. The Vicks are at the front again. Oh, this is a great game. What a game. And that's 5 goals to Waitman. And what a performance.
Well, again, the strength of the Victorian Roving, Lou, that's 5 goals to Waitman. Royals already kicked 5, so 10 of the 19 goals have come to their pair of Rovers, the brilliant pair of Rovers, really. That was a very, very good goal from deep out on the forward pocket, and the pressure goal indeed. Well, they can't come any harder than that, I guess. So West Australia now with 25.5 minutes gone. Still got time to get there.
Certainly have 3 points the difference. Can the West Australians bounce back again? Knocked out by the big fella Keane. Buckenara grabs it out there on the wing. A hand pass coming over. And that's Lamb driving it well over the half-forward line. Peak, did he get one in the back?
He did.
He's going to pay the free kick.
Mind you, that's pretty hot, you know. He really
I think he played for that.
I think it was Roos, and I don't think I would have paid it.
Drives it up towards the full forward position. Pert punched on again. A chance now for Davidson collected hard, but he shrugged him off with strength that time. The ball back to the wing position. The pack flies, pushed on by Lester Smith, back to Victoria's way. And that's Hughes going for a hand pass. Picks it up again himself. A kick up there towards the goals. It's going close. It'll bounce in. It did an off break, and it's in. And that could be the one that's won the game for Victoria, I would say.
What was I saying about a stroke of luck, and I take nothing away from Victorians. They have been magnificent to come from 4 goals down. But the bounce was kind, let's say at least that. There is about to hit the deck well offline and almost at right angles. Well, you can't do much about that.
I think it'd be a leg break. I said an off break, not being an old spin bowler from way back. It was a leg break.
I think he's bowling to a left-handed batsman now.
That's right.
134 to 125, and one sense is perhaps now Western Australia can do no more. Some great goals in this final term, none better than Waitman's from the angle. Buckenara got WA back with a magnificent goal from deep in the right full forward pocket. They go at it again. Salmon thumps Victoria forward, missed by Miles, backed up by Lester Smith. Kick to the outer side. The crowd of 40,000 willing Western Australia on. On the outer side, Baker is over the ball. Well played, Baker. Releases it now to Narkle, who draws a man and pops it over the top. Bairstow on the boundary line. Pulls it back to Hardy. The Brownlow medalist is tired. The ball is out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
He's not Robinson Crusoe.
Free kick going to Hardy.
Yeah, retarded. I thought he may have almost been in possession, actually.
Hardy from the outer side, right half forward, high kick. Waterson in from the side, spectacular leap, waiting behind Peake. It lodged between his legs. He tosses it out to McNish. McNish was the back. He's got the back. Oh, he's getting the kick for a push in the back. Well, he propped in front of the Victorian. I think if WA win this game, they'll talk about that decision for a long time.
Yeah,
If you were writing the script for this match, you couldn't do it, could you?
Couldn't.
No. But that's the same with a couple of them in recent years. McNish, point-blank range. Western Australia trail by 3 points now. 28 minutes gone, final term.
Well, I think this quarter will go about 32 minutes because we've had a lot of scoring.
Yeah, I was just trying to calculate the goals. Victoria's kicked 8 and West Australia's now kicked 5. It's 13 goals. I reckon about 32, 33 minutes.
So we've got about, let's see, about 5 minutes to go, I would say.
Well, there's time.
Well, close on. Victoria 3 points in front, but what a performance both sides have put up here today. Full marks. It's been a spectacular game. Here we go again, and the West Australian crowd getting right behind them. 40,000 of them. You can hear them roaring from all over Australia, I should imagine. Ball pushed on by Keane, still doing a magnificent job. Keane again. He puts it down to Davidson. Did he get one on the back? Yes, the umpire thought so.
That's 15 metres.
15-metre penalty gives him a chance to drive it deep into attack because it brings him up to centre half forward.
Only one Victorians in their half, Lou. They're all in defence.
He's got the long punch, picked up by Buckenara. Snap! It's going to the goal.
It's a goal.
Put him in front. Oh, he's got him. Hit the front and look at Buckenara. Oh, what a game this is. The crowd, it's unbelievable here today. That's 5 goals to Buckenara. They're in front by 3 points. And Victoria have got time to bounce back, but can they do it?
Well, that's the snap from Buckenara. It hung in the heavens for ever so long. And the Victorian defence racing back, and there's McNish pleading for the umpire to say that's a goal. The umpire agreed. And West Australia, who about 30 seconds ago or so it seems were dead and buried, have come back with 2 very, very quick goals, and it now remains to be seen whether Victorians, who also have been absolutely superb, can get one more to win this game in what really has been one of the best football matches I think you would ever wish to see.
Just on 31 minutes gone, I'd say about 2 minutes to go at the most. Victoria down by 3 points, knocked out by Keane. He's played a great game, the big bloke. He won't give it, he's still going after it. He knocked it out, but the umpire will pull it up. Sauron, I would say about 2 minutes at the most, Eric and Desi. Up they go again. Knocked out by Keane. Picked up by Buckenara. They go back into attack. In comes Danaher to take the mark at centre half back. He better get going because time running out for the Vics. They're trailing by 3 points. Out to Mullane. He's grabbed the mark and he's out there on the centre wing position.
Plays on quickly, gets it to Pert. Last roll of the dice maybe coming up for the Victorians. Pert goes towards half forward. Williams has taken the mark. Over the top to Royal. Royal inside scoring range. Brilliantly blanketed off the boot by Blackwell. Another chance for Healy deep in the pocket. He's assaulted by about 4 West Australians bearing down on him. Ball comes to Hardy. He's grabbed by Alvin towards the boundary line. Lester Smith. It's out of bounds and we'll have a throw in.
What a tackle. Who was it, Dennis? Because he deserves a medal.
Blackwell came onto the boot.
Absolutely unbelievable because that was a goal all the way. And if you can't kick them, that's the next best thing you can do to prevent them as well as that.
Well, it's a time of heroic deeds from players of both sides. We have a boundary throw in, right full forward pocket. Western Australia lead by 3 points. A lot of West Australians in defence now. Fisted goalward by Taylor. Alvin is claimed by Hardy. The West Australians dive on the ball to tie it up.
Just on 33 minutes gone, Des.
Well, there'll be no justice to either side, I guess. If there's a loser in this, it's been a magnificent contest. Bounce down, right full forward, 25 metres out. Keane over the top, clean possession, Salmon. Salmon is claimed,
Holding the ball,
and that's a crucial decision.
That could be their last gasp. It could be, but it may not be.
Western Australia will be in no hurry to take this kick. Miles.
Hug the boundary line if you've got any brains.
Someone's loose in the opposite pocket. I don't suggest that at this stage. Miles, grandstand side, big pack into the air. Western Australia got to get it close to the boundary. Williams, very clever hand pass. Kennedy left the ball behind. Kennedy is claimed now by Baker. Williams in the thick of things. Glendinning falls on the ball, and there's going to be a ball up.
Just on the 34-minute mark, still on Victoria's.
There it is.
The Siren. They've won at West Australia. The final scores, West Australia 21 goals 11, 137 to Victoria, 20 goals 14, 134 in Leicester. This crowd, they're really whooping it up here today.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. One of those fantastic football matches.